Monday, October the 31st, 2022, 6:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight, over 3,000 of you voted, and you chose the original Halloween as the movie to watch, but we're also going to watch the number 2 spot. Halloween 2 from 1981 is the double feature. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! We are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 170 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. That's right, over 3,000 of you voted. The poll had Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween H2O, Rob Zombie's Halloween. And we put up the poll shortly after the show last Monday. And Tony and I spent like the next hour watching the votes come in. It was like we were watching an election. And believe it or not, Rob Zombie's Halloween got out to a strong start. It only wasn't until like later that night that the original started to take over. But it was like a horse race there for a while. And it was a lot of fun to watch. But the original Halloween won, and won by a landslide, 41%. Over 3,000 of you voted. It was something like 1,200 people voted for the original Halloween to watch. What can we say that we haven't already said about this? I have no idea. Oh, Tony, did you turn your camera up?
My camera is like half of it. I'm like cropped off on YouTube.
Oh, are you? Oh, hang on a sec.
I don't know if the setting is.
Let me.
I thought it was my camera, so I'm sitting here trying to adjust it.
Oh, I see. No, you look okay, I think. No, you're not cropped off. Like you look. Do you have a different lens on your camera?
Same lens that I always use.
Really? It's a wider. Well, you look fine on. Oh, you want me to bring you down a little bit? Maybe. Hang on. Maybe. What if I do this?
I think that's what it is. Like it just seems like I'm off centered.
You are, but you're. I can see more of you. That's what this is. I see more of you. Hang on. Let me just do this quick adjustment here and do this and bring you over like this and do this and then look at this. Look how, boy, man, you got to be quick at doing this kind of stuff. Hang on. How's that? That a little better? That's a little better.
I think so.
It's a little better. It's better than it was. You look a little more center now, I think. It's funny because on the other monitor here on Zoom, I can actually, it looks like you have a different lens. Like it looks like do you have a wide angle on?
Same one I always use.
Same one you always use? Oh, okay. All right. Nonetheless,
I
anyway.
thought it was like, I was coming in like, I'm like going like, okay, is my chair too low? Like what the hell happened?
No, hang on. I can bring it down a little bit even further if you want. And then
I was like,
I didn't realize this. I should have made that adjustment before. Hang on.
You're fine.
I think it looks okay. Looks all right. You're good. You look sexy. But yeah, over 3,000 of you voted, and 41%, the original Halloween, 41% won. And then Tony and I thought, oh my God, I mean, what is there to say that we haven't already said about the original Halloween? I mean, you know, it's fun to watch. It's an easy watch. We love it. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. But at the end of the day, we thought, you know what, let's toss another one in there. So we went to the second place, but the second place was Halloween 2 from 1981, and it was only at 19%, 41% to 19%. It was a hell of a drop off, but nonetheless.
Truthfully, low key, Dave and I were kind of hoping maybe Halloween 2 or 4 would win.
100%.
But then in retrospect, actually, it's better that Halloween 4 didn't win because next year is the 35th anniversary.
That's right.
It'll give us a chance to talk about it in October of next year. So it's good to save on that for
I agree. And watching Halloween 1 and then just going to Halloween 4 feels like, we're missing something. You know, we need that Halloween 2 kind of in there. But I learned a very important lesson. If I do not want to watch Halloween, which I'm not saying I don't want to watch it, but I'm just saying if I don't want to watch it or if I prefer something else, don't put Halloween up on a poll because it's going to win. No. I thought for sure that Halloween 4 was going to win, or even H2O. That's a fan favorite. A lot of people love that one. H2O got its ass kicked. I think it only had like 10%. It was like, holy shit. It's crazy. Oh, Laura Byrne says, come in here. You might want to jump out and jump back in. while you still have some time. Tony will be back here. That sometimes happens when we first start the show. For some weird reason, it usually happens. Let's get some of these super chats in here before we start the movie. Cody Snyder, 40 bucks, man. Thanks, Cody. I really appreciate that. Says, this is for the double feature. Goddamn McRae. You, along with Darren and Frank, get Patreon money tomorrow, too. That's true. Love you, D&T, and our community. This is home. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. Happy Halloween to you, too, Cody. New Nightmare. Hey, Nightly Gaimo sends in $9.99. Says, happy Halloween, dudes. I would stay for the stream if I could, but I'm going to a friend's house to watch Halloween in their backyard on a moody projector by an atmospheric bonfire. Dude, you want to trade places? Hope all is well. That sounds amazing, Nightly. Have a great time, my man, and thank you very much for the super chat. Jordan Ellis sends in $9.99 and says, Friday the 13th prequel. Yes, we know. Get out of here. We need to know what Charlie Bowles proceeded to do after he grabbed a hacksaw, then kissed his wife and his two children goodbye. And then he... Much love, D&T. Thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Tony and I will be talking about the Friday the 13th prequel stuff in a future episode. And then Bud Gumperson sends in $10 and says, I usually watch these two films on Halloween night, but now it's two films, two dudes, and two bullshits. Halloween dies tonight. Thanks, Bud. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And then I think, am I caught up here? I think I'm caught up. Oh, wait, one more to go, and then we'll start the movie. Chase Jackson sends in $9.99, says, happy Halloween, Dave and Tony. What is your guys' top 3 Halloween movie scores? For me, it's the original Halloween 2, maybe even Halloween 3. Tony?
Well, since I got the vinyl this month, I've definitely listened to that Halloween 3 on vinyl a lot.
It's great, isn't it?
It's if you're looking for that distinct 80s, you can definitely see where Stranger Things got their inspiration. I feel like their inspiration, especially the guys who did the score, really pulled from a lot of the synth sounds that Carpenter did in the 80s. Because when you listen to the Halloween 3 soundtrack on its own without the dialogue there and whatnot, you're just like, man, this sounds so much like Stranger Things. But actually, Stranger Things sounds so much like Halloween 3. And It's a really good score. But I'd say like my go-tos that I listen to heavily over the course of the month, obviously the original Halloween soundtrack, Halloween 4 soundtrack. This month for sure, since I just got it, was the Halloween 3. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack as well. I have that on vinyl. The Friday the 13th Part 2 I have on vinyl. I have the original on vinyl. It's basically the same. I mean, Manfredini, he pretty much, if you listen 1 and 2, they almost sound identical. He didn't really change too much as far as the soundscape and the music and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know if I have like one specific. I think it's just more of a month long, with the amount of vinyl I have, more of like a year-long celebration of just listening to different scores and sound. But those are like the go-tos. Right.
I gotcha. Yep. Same with me, I think. And I actually do like, I think Alan Howarth's score through 4, 5, and 6 are actually really good, to be honest with you.
They are. Especially 6, after watching 6 last week with you, the producer's cut, and hearing that, like, I didn't really catch it the first time. I think because when I watched the producer's cut the first, I just watched it like on my computer. Like I didn't have my headphones on. So I really wasn't picking up on the score like I was able to. And I ordered myself. They only had it on CD. It's a double copy. You get the original and then you get the producer's cut version. Brand new, unopened. I got it off of Discogs for like $25. So that's pretty good.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So, I don't really listen to CDs anymore. I'm hoping that whoever owns the rights to it, because vinyl has made such a resurgence over the recent years, that they'll release a vinyl cut. Either Waxworks, I know they're really popular with doing rare horror movies. In fact, didn't somebody just release an updated version of the Halloween soundtrack? Different
not sure
cover. It's a different, I think I saw that like pop up on my feed. It's a different cover and it's a different vinyl. It's not like the original that I have.
I'm not sure.
But you got all these companies out there doing that. So I'm hoping Halloween 6, because I have 5, and 5 is good, minus the old Romeo song that just found its way on there, and I was just like, oh yeah, I hear that.
No, it's good stuff.
So,
It's
is
good stuff. All right, let's jump into it.
Yes.
Halloween from 1978. So Tony and I are paused just a couple of, it's that black screen, right? And it's just a few seconds or a second or two before you hear it. Dun, 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 dun. That's where we are paused. So if you want to line it up and get your, if you want to line it up, take a moment to do that. That's what we're going to do. Halloween from 1978, the original, the one, the only, the classic. Halloween.
I watched that last night.
Did
Season
you?
of the Witch.
Oh, yeah, Season of the Witch. Oh, nice.
Well, because it's the Immortal. That's what he says.
It's the Immortal. Yeah.
Immortal classic.
The Immortal, the classic Halloween. But that actually was a TV spot for Halloween as well. And they plopped
really?
it.
Because that sounds like Tommy Lee Wallace's voice.
No, I don't think that's Tommy Lee Wallace's voice. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think that is.
But yeah, I watched that in Halloween 4 last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, folks. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
The end.
It's over.
We're done.
A Compass International Pictures release. Mustafa Akkad presents the one that began it all. Here we are. It began it all. Yeah. Donald Pleasance in. It's got to have top billing because he's the man.
He's the drunk man in the show.
He's the man. Dave Kincaid sends in a very generous super chat, $19.99. Thanks, Dave. Says, Happy Halloween, D&T. Happy Halloween to you too, my man. Return of the Living Flet, $6.99. Happy Halloween, Dave and Tony. What is some of your Halloween memories? Oh, lots of good ones when I was a kid, man. Probably after trick-or-treating when I started to put on like a little Halloween show at my house. And I had the fog machine and the lights, and I dress up as Michael Myers. I used to do that with Bruce, and we had a blast. It was so great.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much what we're doing right now. After I would trick or treat, I'd come back home and, 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it was after trick or treating with friends and throw on, well, at the time would have been Halloween 2. It wouldn't have been the original.
Yeah.
Probably Halloween 4. That would be almost for certain. And watching it with my friends, it was good times, but, especially like in the, late 80s, early 90s. And when you're in that like coming of age, and doing this and whatnot.
For sure. I know. Yeah, I hear you. I'll never forget when I was too old to trick or treat. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's subjective. I know there's, teenagers that go out when they're 19, which I think is so stupid. But anyway, I was about 13 or 14. And I remember sitting there on the curbside munching on some candy that I just got, and I remember feeling it like it was my last year. Like I remember feeling like I was feeling like I was like I'm done, and
same. I remember that last year it was more we just goofed around with the friends around the neighborhood. I was wearing the Michael Myers mask and I was scaring my friends, so I'd be hiding behind. We had that like type of Haddonfield type neighborhood with trees over, overlapping on the road. So I'd be hiding in the bush, jumping out, scaring them. And that's it. We didn't even trick or treat, so like you kind of knew like, okay, this, and it always sucks because it's in that transitional year where you're too young to be invited to the cool high school Halloween parties, but you're too old to be trick or treating.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You. Yeah.
And then a year later, you're invited to all the Halloween parties, and then you go to the Halloween parties and you're like, this fucking sucks. Yeah. It's just a bunch of idiots getting drunk, throwing up, and making out.
Yep.
The making out part doesn't suck, but the idiots throwing up did.
Speaking of making out, here we have the 1 minute man. We are alone, aren't we?
Michael's around someplace. Take that thing off.
Let's go upstairs.
Okay. Ooh, I hope I get like a 2-hour kind of session.
Don't get your hopes up, Judith. He's a minute man. No, he's not even a minute man. He's like right now, he's not having sex with her. He's upstairs. He's taking things off. Now the lights go out. Maybe now, like, they're kissing. And yeah, maybe he's like a minute man. Maybe 1 minute. Maybe 1 minute.
He's a 2-pump chump.
Two pump chump. That's right. I love the I gotta go. Will you call me tomorrow? Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I will.
Promise? Yeah.
Yeah. He ain't calling her tomorrow.
He ain't coming back. You will never see him again.
Nope.
Deborah Hill's hand. Here it comes. Good old Deborah Hill. There's her little hand. It really does look like a little kid's hand.
It is. It's unfortunate that she passed, because I would love to know her thoughts on this new run and because Deborah is just the type of woman, no holds bar. She's not going to hold back. She's going to tell you how how kind of like how Carpenter, you can sense that some truth is starting to come out and some of the recent things he's been saying. I'm like, I had a feeling that's how you felt. But
Carpenter doesn't give a shit. He doesn't. No. He doesn't care.
No, are you kidding me? I've got goals. That's my goal in life. I want to be Carpenter when I'm his age. Just an old grumpy man.
Here it is. Look, Judith, I really gotta go. Will you call me tomorrow? Yeah, sure. Promise? Yeah. Sure. He's like, yeah. Look at him. And look at the way he looks back. He looks back.
He's like, yeah, I ain't calling you.
he's like, whatever.
I ain't calling you.
I ain't calling you. He just looked back to see if he could get one last look at her naked body at the top of the stairs, maybe. That's it. That's it.
Something for the bank later on.
Oh, man. Hey, I tell you, though, again, I mean, maybe it's because I'm a bit biased, but I still think a lot like this kind of approach to horror is timeless. It's that the theater of the mind, the slow burn,
simple storytelling,
the simplicity, lots of mood and atmosphere. I know it's an overused cliche now on my channel. I say it so much that you kind of forget that it really does have meaning. But these kinds of movies, and you can go back and look at movies that are like this, that take this approach, and they're timeless. Like they stand the test of time forever. Even The Exorcist is a very slow burn, grounded sort of kind of, it builds and it builds and it builds. I mean,
is it me, or does Judith sound like she's really getting into this at one point?
Yeah, it sounds like she's having an orgasm from
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, where are we going here, Judith?
Now, mind you, The Exorcist and Halloween are two completely different movies. But I just mean movies like Psycho or, Rear Window or old Black Christmas, just as old classics that follow that more nuanced theater of the mind. They're time. Yes, they're dated. I listen. I watch this and I'm like, yeah, it's dated. It's got some cheesy acting, some but it's the execution. It's the delivery. It's the package that is so great. That is timeless. That has got so much rewatch value because of the execution. Here's your cinematic tableau, of course. Now, it's unfortunate that the mother put her hands in the pocket. Really, she shouldn't have done that, but it's a still frame.
Honestly, though, it is a natural movement for someone. Well, it is when you have when your son has a knife in a hand. It's not a natural.
That's what I mean, and it's supposed to be sort of a snapshot, right? I actually had that confirmed from Dean Cundy himself. I asked him, now correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what this is, right? And he's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, okay. So it's a cinematic tableau. It's that reveal, right? The clown mask, comes off, and it's like, holy fuck, it's a boy. Like, holy shit, because we wouldn't have known that. If you had watched this movie in 1978, you wouldn't have known that. You'd have no idea how old or tall or whatever. And so it's like a picture. It's just like, wow, it's this horrific thing against the backdrop of this small American town. Anyway, just cool. It still holds up. It's got a very theater, approach to it. Great mood here with the, you can't see it. Like, this is my kind of shit. You don't see anything outside. You don't see any lights go by. You don't see any foliage go by. It's just pitch black out the windows, and you hear the thunder and the rain, and I love it. And they're probably, they could even be stationary, and they're just kind of rocking the car back and forth a little bit. They could be doing that. But yeah, it's great shit.
They start raving on and on. You haven't everything to worry about.
He hasn't spoken a word in 15 years.
He hasn't spoken a word since last Tuesday. Are there any special instructions?
Just understand what we're trying to deal with. Don't underestimate it. I love it. Don't underestimate it.
Do you think we can refer to it as him?
No! The thunder. It's great. Thor, Zane.
He'll barely be able to stand up.
That's the idea. It's great. It's so great. Rabbit in red.
Yeah, I'm failing the stream here. I see Don Wilkes got his Halloween sweater and Elm Street thing on. Dave's got his shirt and hat on. I'm a disgruntled Florida State fan.
Hey, it's all right,
you
man.
know.
I understand.
Well, because Florida State played Georgia Tech over the weekend and gave them an ass whooping. So I knew a lot of people were one of the common things here in Georgia to do, especially around Halloween weekend or Halloween, if you know whether it's the Bulldogs or Georgia Tech, is to wear your college gear. You know,
right, I get
Halloween. You. So I was like, all right, when I went out today and did my errands, I'm like, I'm rocking the hat, I'm rocking the T-shirt. I was smiling,
of course,
but I totally forgot to change. I forgot to change when we were.
That's all right.
Stream, but
no
whatever.
Worries. Dynamite Colin sends in a very generous super chat of $20. Says, "Happy Halloween, Dave and Tony. Glad I could catch this double feature. Long live the boogeyman." Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, man. Jeffrey M sends in $5. Says, "I'm gonna egg and toilet paper Danny McBride's house tonight. I actually live close by. Come join me, Dave. Let's give him a piece of our mind." Oh well. I fortunately don't live anywhere close, so but I'd be there. I'd be there naked. I'd be there naked if I could. Mendel Goodman, $2 says, "What are must-watch horror movies of 2022?" I don't know.
I just watched Barbarian.
I did too. I thought that was good.
That was good. Not as good as people hyped it to be, but good. You know what I mean?
Like, I agree. I thought it was solid.
Right. Solid, good. Like, you know, I finished watching it, like, it's decent. I still say my favorites for the year are X for sure is up there. I got a feeling Terrifier 2 is going to be there once I watch it. Just, you know, like,
well, it's just off the wall craziness and gore.
Fun,
so exactly. You know. So it's likely to rise to the top of people's charts because it's a very fun, crazy movie, right? So
did it not go on Screambox or something?
It did, yeah, today.
So I'm gonna. Should we do that as a first watch together? I'll hold off if you want to do it as a first watch. I'm down.
I don't know. Maybe. Right. Maybe that might be fun.
I'm itching to watch this movie though.
I know. You see, and I'm going to be away the next
You're going to be gone
couple of weeks because of Freddy Krueger. Here we are, Haddonfield, Illinois. I've been there. Well, I mean, lots of people have, of course. I'm not the only one that's been there. Now, that shot right there, on the right there, see, kind of looks like an open field. That's actually where the Pasadena Library is now. There's a big library there now.
Okay.
And here's the Doyle house. And but yeah, it's really
Scream
cool to go there.
Scream 2022 was good. I did enjoy. We watched that together as a first.
We
watch.
did.
And I did enjoy that.
Yeah, you know, Terrifier 2 might be a first watch. It might have to be if you can hold off. I don't know if you can hold off.
Has to be. I think it has to be a first watch.
I'm gonna fucking lose it.
So yeah, I think
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna go. If you think like I'm gonna be like, like the entire show. Oh, I'm gonna ham it up.
What?
I'm gonna ham it up. You gotta ham it up. You gotta ham it up.
Yeah.
You gotta ham it up.
So, yeah, I'll wait. All right,
Sweet
if
Tea.
If we're gonna do it in November for sure, when you get back, then I'll wait.
Yeah, let's do it. Sweet Tea sends in $10. Says, "Happy Halloween, my friends. Be safe too. I have to take my babies trick or treating soon. Watch along later. Amazing. The tea is sweet tonight." Thank you, Sweet Tea. Appreciate that. Absolutely.
Be safe in Florida.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else came.
I've been all along there.
Well, okay.
It's very cool to be there.
Hallows Eve for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said
count? That. I mean, I've never seen it before, so it's like, does that count? Like, I mean, it's not a new release.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No. I think he meant like films released in 2022. I think.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's cool. Like if you ever get a chance, anybody who's never been to South Pasadena and been to this area, it's really cool. I mean, obviously there's things that are a bit different, but it looks relatively the same. Of course, we're coming up to the Myers house here, and the Myers house is actually it was moved further down this street. The street that the house is on, it was moved down the street. So if we're looking at the house right now, to the left, down the street at the very corner down there, that's basically where it was moved to. And that's where it is right now. So it was only moved like maybe a couple of football fields away.
I think it was on the threshold of being destroyed, right?
It was,
like,
yeah,
really
it
close.
was.
But somebody came in at the last second basically and saved it.
Saved it. I think it was 87 or late 80s or something it was moved.
He said awful stuff happened there once. Lonnie and Lamb probably won't get out of the 6th grade. Ooh, that's a diss, Laurie. Bye, bitch.
Can you imagine? He's like, bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch.
You know what? I gotta overdub this movie. I gotta have some fun. One of these days, I gotta take the movie and just overdub it.
Don't forget to mention how green the trees are.
Yeah, yes. Well, it's a very green Halloween.
Very green Halloween, you know, not an inkling of fall.
There was a release of Halloween. I forget which version it was. Was it the early 2000s or something, where the color correction on it had like this sepia tone. And I sometimes wonder if that was just a weird mistake or if it was somebody trying to make it look more autumn. But it's not correct. Dean Cundy even said that's not the correct color. Like, look, we know it's green. Listen, it's South Pasadena in the spring. You know, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit and maybe think that maybe they were having maybe a bit of a prolonged summer. And but that's why they had all those leaves on the ground and stuff to help make it feel more like autumn.
I mean, you've seen the pictures I've shared. We're having this is not normal. What you're getting looks exactly like how we look right now. That's what I expect up there. Yeah. But down here, this is not normal for us to get these vibrant colors that I'm beautiful. Totally capitalizing.
It's beautiful.
On it.
Now, pretty much all the leaves are pretty much kind of off now, because once you get to November, and you know, being from Connecticut, you know that once you get to November, the leaves are kind of off, and now it's more of that bare tree kind of vibe. But we'll be beautiful.
There in like a week or so, because usually for us our peak starts around like Thanksgiving. Like, we're so far behind, but I'm wondering if it was the combination of the humidity or the hot summer with the dampness that we had, because we had a lot of rain as well too. That gave us this like no complaint. Like this is like reminding me of home type fall.
There he is.
Ma'am, answer the question. Well, it was somehow related only to religion.
Did I see in a video, I might have, where someone thought that was Ben Tramer sitting across from her, like a fan theory?
I have no idea. No idea. It's not Ben Tramer. Oh, I guess you could.
I want a Ben Tramer
why not?
backstory
Why not?
movie.
We have but we have no idea. Sure, that's Ben Tramer. Why not?
It's Ben Tramer.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? The Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast says, I've got that version on Halloween, terrible grade. That version of Halloween, terrible grade. Yeah, I do too. I forget, it's like a early 2000s or a Blu-ray or something, and it does. It looks very sepia, and I wonder if it kind of, yeah.
An oopsie.
It's funny, I remember when I was having dinner with Mickey Ablons and his family. Mickey, of course, plays Richie here on the left. He was having this debate with his wife, like all in good fun. And I remember he was like, no, I'm the one that tripped Tommy Doyle. I tripped Tommy Doyle. And he goes upstairs. He's like, I tripped Tommy Doyle. I'm telling you. It was all in good fun, because I think it was some debate they were having back and forth about who tripped Tommy Doyle, whether it was Lonnie or Mickey. And Mickey was like, it was me. Damn it. It was me. It was a lot of fun. Such a sweet, nice family. A lot of laughs. Mickey is a riot. Like, he is charismatic. And I mean, you know, I'm a talker, but he was just like, mind you, we'd also had, you know.
Have you seen this building?
A bit to drink too, but it was fun.
Because you've been out there.
No, I haven't. I actually haven't gone here. I actually haven't gone to this spot. I've only been to the Myers house. I've been to the Strode house. I've been to the Doyle and Wallace's house. I believe
that is a legitimate school,
right?
It is.
Okay. Yep. Oh yeah. I've been to where the opening shot is and
really
everything.
A hospital in 2, right?
I think it is. I think it is.
I thought the parking lot was something else.
I'm not as familiar with the Halloween 2 locations. I know where the Elrod house is, but I haven't done a real Halloween 2 location thing, so I don't know for certain. But it's a lot of fun. Like, if you ever get a chance to be in South Pasadena and to visit these locations, do it. I mean, it's
Michael
just,
Myers,
it's a lot of fun.
Uber Lyft driver.
That's right. That's right. Now, you notice that either that passenger window is down, or he got it fixed.
He got it fixed.
He got it fixed.
They're coming for you.
I think he says, some people have said, like, who is he talking to here? I think he says officer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you got to believe me, officer. He's coming to Haddonfield.
You got to believe me, officer.
So I've always suspected that he's talking to one of the Haddon, like he's talking to like the receptionist
one of the PDs.
at the like he's called the station and he's gotten like, you know, the first line of whoever you would get at that point. And they're like, no, we're not transferring you to Brackett. He's out on a call or whatever. And he's like, fuck it. Okay, I'm going to come to Haddonfield then or whatever. Something like that. Super chat comes in from Movie Juice, sends in $10, says, happy Halloween, guys. Yeah, I love that. Happy Halloween to you too. Got the night off. No girl, no kids, so I'm watching along tonight. Happy streaming. Amazing. Thank you. And that was just pure luck too, that fucking train went by. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some great shit. I bet you that truck that went by in the background and that car there, I bet you that's not part of the film shoot.
No.
You kidding me?
A lot of that shit was probably just...
With this budget? No way.
Leave it in.
Yeah. Well, because you can't identify any plates or any people, so...
No. And it's a good... And it actually adds to the
Freddie
background,
Mercury.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Freddie Mercury making his cameo in Halloween.
I'll never forget when I made that joke. There were people that thought I was serious.
We're from Haddonfield. Something a little
We're
louder.
from Haddonfield. Couldn't be prouder. Something, yell a little louder. We're from Haddonfield. Couldn't be prouder. We're all a bunch of whores. Yell a little louder.
I will say this. I think it was the 2018 film. They did a teaser promo using that. That was good.
Yes, and
that was really good how they did that teaser promo. I will give them I was like, ooh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's in a deleted scene as well.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
It's from a deleted scene, I believe, yeah.
It's your own fault. I don't feel a bit sorry for you. Hey, Linda.
Man, the girl who helped me create those shots for the pictures I shared today, she was a trooper. And that, you know, awesome. That's asking a lot for a girl to do and creating a scene, you know, creating the PJ Soul scene in the bed like that. And she fucking.
And what's so great too is I hear you. I agree with you. I think the photos you took today were actually really good. Actually, a lot of the photos you've been sharing lately have been fantastic. Have been great. Like I love the one with Michael in the doorway.
Oh,
the sheet.
Yeah.
That was really good, man. That was really good. Yeah, guys, follow Tony Michael on Facebook right there at Anthony Michael 579 on Facebook. Do it.
We created the see anything you like scene.
Yes, it's really good.
Michael back to Uber lifting again. That's all he was doing. He was just trying to Uber lift.
But that goes back to my point about what's so great about this, at the original Halloween, how Myers is executed and how he's delivered to the audience is that he's always at a distance. Sometimes he's a little close, or sometimes he's closer, sometimes he's a bit further away, but we never see Myers. We never see Michael Myers close up and the mask in any sort of clarity until we get to the moment that he lifts his head into frame and he puts his and he puts the phone to his ear. Even when he kills Annie, because of the fogging up of the windows, when we get that shot through the window of the car and Annie choking, Myers, I mean, yeah, you can see him, but he's a bit blurred out. It's like a soft focus because of the fogging up of the windows. And I've always found that this was a great way to present this character because, as I've often said, it's like a storm on the horizon that you see coming. So you see Michael coming, and he's coming, and the storm, the dark, ominous clouds are getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And then eventually, once night falls and shit hits the fan, the storm has arrived. And now we're seeing him in close proximity and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was, and again, that's not necessarily an intentional creative choice on Carpenter's part. It's purely my interpretation of it. But that's why, again, it's not that you don't see him. Like, some people have often mistakenly thought, because I've said that we shouldn't see Michael, like, you know, during the day, quote unquote. And people have tried to say, well, yes, but you see him during the day in the original. And I'm like, yes, that's true, but it's always at a distance. Right? It's always at a distance. It's never in close proximity where he's where you see details.
almost 24 minutes into the movie, and for those who use the argument, he was in Halloween Ends more than he was in the original. his presence so far is felt all over this movie, and we're only 24 minutes into
again,
it.
that
here he is again.
There
right?
he is at a distance, right? At a distance. You don't get
the
details.
Presence is there.
That's
you
right.
don't need. He's not oversaturated.
Right.
Whereas in Ends, you're 40 minutes into it, going, when the fuck is this dude going to show up?
Right. But yeah, and people making that meme about screen time and Myers, it's not about screen time. It's about narrative focus. You can have somebody on screen. Like I said, the shark in Jaws was actually on screen. The shark was actually on screen in all its glory for 4 minutes. And you did not see the shark for 81 minutes into the movie. It's not
because the failure of that thing worked in Spielberg's favor.
100%. But it's not about, screen. It's not just about screen time. And I say just about because obviously, they're not mutually inclusive, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And it's important to remember that it's really about narrative focus. Where is the focus of the narrative and the story? And for a lot of people, the focus of Halloween Ends was not, it just didn't resonate with them. It's not that the story was bad. It just wasn't, the focus wasn't enough on Myers. Not that you had to see him every 5 seconds. It's about the focus of the narrative. And in this movie, maybe he has less screen time in this movie, but the focus is heavily on him and his presence and his rise to his not rise, but his arrival to Haddonfield and to the mayhem that's about to happen. So that's why you feel him more here, even though he has a bit less.
That he waited 40 years to say again.
There it is. Excuse me, Laurie.
Excuse me, Laurie.
Scared another one away. Have you guys seen the short clip I made of this? I posted on my channel where I dubbed it, and you hear, "Hey Annie, how old is Laurie?" I got to do more of that stuff.
Did you see the meme I shared the other day with Boy Meets World? That was good. That was
good.
Hilarious. The only love story I want to see involving a Corey in the Halloween season. It's got Corey and Topanga.
That's good. I like that.
Well, it was good because they were Daniel Fishel and Ben Savage were holding like it looked like a behind the scenes photo of when they were making the show, and they're like they got a pumpkin in front of them and holding trick or treat things.
Gotcha. Unimpressive Media sends in €5. Says, "Hey Dave, did you see Scream Factory is releasing the OG Black Christmas on 4K in December? Some new special features too." I did see that. Yeah, pretty fucking
don't forget,
cool.
Annabelle makes a cameo in this movie. Right there.
Oh yes, yeah. The original. Annabelle.
The actual Annabelle.
Raggedy
who actually
Anvil
possessed Michael.
There it is. And look, she doesn't look away and he's gone, which is so great because it starts to play with her mind and to the audience as, did she actually see it? Because she doesn't turn away and she has her eyes locked on Myers. It forces the audience to ask the question, did she really see him? Was he really there? You know what I mean? Like, is it playing tricks on her? Is, her mind, is it playing tricks on her? It's very eerie and uncomfortable. Because if she had turned away, set something down, and looked back, it gives a whole different feeling to the piece. A whole different feeling.
Why didn't you say something? I had my mouth full. Couldn't you hear me?
Although I will say, based on her room, how they went with the decor, she's presented as a very wholesome, naive girl.
Yep.
Not a typical 70s girl. She's got no rock band posters.
No, she's sweet. She's innocent.
Right. That you would see from
virginal.
Like a typical that you would see from like a 70s teenage girl, whether it's Aerosmith or Floyd or Led Zeppelin, typical, stuff that like you saw in that 70s show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
like
sure.
The backdrop that they would use for teen, like Donna's room.
Yep.
And, who was the other girl on the show? Jackie, right?
Yeah.
You got those vibes. Whereas Laurie here, she seems very wholesome, very pure,
for
very
sure.
innocent.
She's absolutely, and it's the way she dresses, the way she carries herself. For sure. And that's the idea. It's the idea. Reese Wilson, my man, sends in $14.99 Australian dollars. Says, "Happy Halloween, D&T. Trick-or-treating isn't as big here, but Halloween house parties are. My girlfriend and I attended a party as as a gender bent Michael and Lori. Amazing. She made a better Michael than I did. Lori. That's awesome.
Doesn't this person who owned the house do something like, don't they put out pumpkins for people to sit on and take pictures or some shit?
They do.
Where Lori's sitting right now, right?
They do.
Yeah,
Now that shot right there, that shot is actually that street. Now she looks to her left. That is not that street.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different, I don't know where that is, but that's like if you were to be there.
You can tell by the sunlight too. There was actually sunlight, and then here it's a kind of a cloudy day.
Yeah. If you were to actually look left there.
Insert shot, yeah.
I don't know what street that's from, but it doesn't look like that over there. But yes, the family that lives in that house and has lived in that house for many years now, because sometimes you don't know, right? Like if you go to a famous house, sometimes the owners, and rightly so, I get it. It's your home.
It's their home.
You know what I mean?
They don't want
I totally get it.
Showing up and like,
for sure.
But that's cool that they've embraced it and have fun with it.
I think they did because they figured, look, we can't win. Like, I mean, we can't win this. So they embraced it and they put out pumpkins, they put out real ones at Halloween time. They have fake ones throughout the year. There's a little sign that says, yes, this is the house. Yes, this is Laurie Strode's house from the original Halloween. Take a pumpkin, sit on the stoop, have fun, take pictures. They're great. I met the lady. I met the woman that lives there, and she's just a sweetheart. So
that's nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Did you make it out to this cemetery or no?
No, I haven't. Haven't been to the cemetery. Don't know where that is actually. And then he went back into the house.
I almost was going to ask. I wonder if it still exists. And I'm like, yeah.
He kissed his wife and his two children goodbye.
Well, I mean, not saying they wouldn't move a cemetery, but
yes,
not a common thing. They have to have a really good reason to move a cemetery.
No. It would still be there. Of course, we just heard the beginning of the Charlie Bowles story.
I want that as an anthology film.
Yeah,
I heard
me too.
Peacock is doing. I heard they're doing a series. That was another. Is that legit?
No, I don't know.
See, Deadline and when Deadline and Variety are reporting on the Crystal Lake Friday the 3rd, then I'm like, okay, that's legit. When I'm seeing sources that don't, I question the legitimacy.
Billy Bob's movie blog,
right? And I'm like, is this legit or is it not legit? You know,
I don't know.
Because people were asking me about that in my DMs, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It just don't seem legit. You know?
Somebody asked me about it. I haven't heard about it. None of the major trades have talked about it. Bloody Disgusting hasn't talked about it. iHorror hasn't talked about it. You know,
when
nobody's
that Friday
talked about
the 13th thing dropped today, everybody was talking about it.
Right. And people have to understand that, well, you know, when you say, like, look at the source, you know, and you know,
Jamie Lee, you don't know how to smoke that weed.
Just fuck. I fucking hate that shit when people just start throwing around, well, so-and-so said, well, who the fuck's, I'm not saying they're wrong, but you know, when Billy Bob's movie blog says it, and I went to the site where it originated from. I forget the name of it now. Something Robot Movies Carnage or something. I don't know. And they specifically make it very clear that we have reputable sources and here's why. And they're kind of overselling the we have reputable sources thing. When you have reputable sources, you don't need to say it. You just the scoop and the reporting that you do will speak for itself. You don't need to remind people that you have reputable sources. Just report the facts and let the chips fall where they may. So whenever I see somebody overemphasize that, no, we are this, we approve, I kind of go, I'll wait. You know, I'll wait until I hear it from somebody that doesn't need to do that. And it comes from somewhere official. So I don't know if this is like a site like We Got This Covered where they throw everything and the kitchen sink at the wall where they're bound to be right about something eventually. And then they go, oh, you see, told you we were right about that. Yeah, but it's like a psychic, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, if you believe in psychics, that's great. But there are a lot of charlatans out there too. And just because a psychic gets one thing right, yeah, but let's look at all the 500 other things they got wrong. You know, like let's not forget about that either. So, you know, and We Got This Covered and sites like that tend to do that. They just start throwing everything out there, and it's like, well,
eventually you're gonna get something right?
Exactly. So I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was a Friday the 13th thing.
Where Michael's turning right now, isn't that where the house is?
Yes. If you look over Dr. Loomis's left shoulder there, our right, that is where the Myers house currently sits today.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, not at all. Thank you. I was going off on a fucking tangent. I love. pointing. Yes, that's where the Myers house sits today, is right there. And the hardware store is a restaurant.
It's sunny, sunset, dark.
Yeah,
I know.
of
like seconds.
Like right on a.
Like, I feel like they should have shown up at their respective homes with the sun still setting. Like, how big is this? I mean, I mean, that's why I've always interpreted Haddonfield to be this big ass country town because of the transition of time that they tell in the story.
I know. Yeah. Everybody always says that when you watch for the first time, and I watch it with somebody who's, wow, it got dark pretty quick. It's like, yeah, well, that's $320,000 there in a 3-week shoot. So just shut the fuck up, okay? No. But no, like now, because an announcement came today that Peacock is doing a Friday the 13th series, I wonder, and maybe I'm being too generous, and I could totally see them spitting this, but I wonder if maybe they got whoever this site is that reported a Halloween series, maybe their source got it mixed up and it was actually Friday the 13th. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a series in development with Peacock. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this random site, talking about it and nobody else talking about it isn't evidence that it's happening. If it really was happening, I'm not saying they're wrong, but it's too early to tell. It's too early. They have not, in my opinion, I don't know who they are. I've never heard of them. So for me, they haven't earned that for me. Maybe they've earned it for you, but not for me. I don't know who the fuck they are. So I'm going to wait and see.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I'm excited and we'll probably do a whole show on that announcement.
Friday 13th. Oh, we will.
Yeah. I think my excitement is that it's not just Peacock because look, I don't know. I haven't seen Peacock do any original. I mean, I'm sure they've got original content, but like, it's not like Netflix where I know, like I got Stranger Things as a reference or Cobra Kai. And, I've got the Ozark. I've got a lot of series that I trust Netflix if they're putting their prints on something. But because A24 is attached to it, I'm excited. That's where I'm like, okay, cool. Because I don't know, like maybe people can make suggestions like, hey, dude, check out this on Peacock. You might like it. As far as like, within the horror genre. And I think Peacock is realizing that they're getting good, they're getting something there with the Halloween fan base that may be piggybacking off and getting the Friday the 13th fan base now is another thing that they want to do. And,
it's entirely possible.
There's your blue lighting. I'm going to step away and check my mailbox to see if the package arrived.
Yeah. Knock yourself out.
Back.
Matthew Farisi sends in $9.99, says, Happy Halloween. Can I get both an I Shot Him 6 Times in drunk Loomis voice and a Hawkins, It Needs to Die? A Hawkins, It Needs to Die. Hope you are both doing well. Sure. Okay. I shot him 6 times. He's not an alien. Hawkins, it needs to die. It needs to die. Unless you're talking about the Loomis on the recorder, which is, it needs to die. Here we go. What is that? It's a dog. Dog? What is that?
Still warm.
Still warm.
He got hungry.
Come on. Could have been a skunk.
Could have been a skunk.
Could have. Here it comes.
Man wouldn't do that.
This isn't a man.
This isn't a man.
Boom, boom. This is one of those movies that I know literally every line. There's certain movies that you watch on a regular basis where you know literally every single line. You know what's about to come. Even like sound effects and certain like beats and this is one of those movies. The original Star Wars trilogy is one. Or 3 movies that I also know very well and the lines that are about to come. What else? I would say any of the big 3 like original films, like the first Elm Street, first Friday, the first few films, maybe even Halloween 2. It's one of those things. Now, looking at this right now and thinking about the flashback scene in Halloween Kills, it just makes me appreciate the set decoration that they did with Halloween Kills in that flashback. They did a great job, like a really, really great job. You must think I'm a very sinister doctor.
I can't believe it, man. Our Postal worker was like, we went live at 6 and it still hadn't arrived. And
Hasn't arrived yet?
no, it did. It got, so it came between 6 and 7. So,
okay.
Well, we'll find out if 1-800-CONTACTS is a because this is the first time I've ever ordered from them. I've never. I usually would get it from my contact, like where I get my eye exams done. So I've never ordered from them before. Hopefully they're good, and you definitely save a lot of money compared to what I would pay, because I don't have health insurance being self-employed. I mean, I've got some like very small shit, but
right.
So we're not like you guys where you get it.
Well, it depends. Size. It depends, right? Dental is not covered here.
Yeah, same here, but our dental's like, my cleaning is like $50 every time I go in.
Yeah. Here it is. I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. And that's all you need to know. Like literally, as I've said many times, that monologue, we're so used to it now. We're so desensitized by it now that we just kind of hear it and we're like, yeah, blackest eyes, devil's eyes. But when you really listen and you really break down what Dr. Loomis is saying, all you need to know about the character of Michael Myers literally is in that monologue. That's all you need to know. He taught, because remember, this is a man of science. He's a doctor. He's a psychiatrist. So for him to be saying the things that he's saying, there's some sort of epiphany. There's some sort of revelation that he's had. When a man of science, when a doctor who's gone to medical school, who is all about treating, people medically and from a very sort of practical scientific level, starts talking like this, it's scary. It's like, whoa, this is weird. Yeah. And when he starts talking about, he says things like, no conscience, no reason, no understanding in even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. Really think about that's all you need to know about. He says so much about Myers there. It's amazing. It's
no,
amazing.
Dave, I need to know more.
I need to know more. Doyle residents. Hi, Annie. What are you doing? You naked yet?
Never mind. I'm sure you are.
Yeah. Nancy Keys. Well, she was Nancy Loomis here. Chad Power sends in $2, says, support Halloween Ends. Get your butt to AMC to see it twice. Meh. Thanks, Chad. Chad, do you have
tell you what, buddy, if you want to buy me tickets, maybe.
Universal or something? Matthew Farisi, $4.99 says, hilarious predicament for Michael to go off into the sewers to die and still be alive 4 years later. Where was he between Halloween 2 and H2O? Working as a Walmart greeter? I don't know. Why was his body not burned? They never found his body. They never found his body.
Michael's got self-healing powers.
Apparently he does.
Yeah.
He does. Well, I just talked to Ben Tramer when I told him how attracted you were to him. Oh, Annie, you didn't. Please tell me you didn't. I told him you wanted to bang him.
Now, I know
she said that. Oh, dude, here it is. Here it is. One of the best shots in the whole movie, in all of horror, in my opinion. Look at that. Now, that's not Deborah Hill.
Although she does say it in the 20th anniversary box set. Do you have that? Because I have it.
I do. But actually, when you listen to her, she doesn't confirm that was her. She talks about putting the costume on. And it just so happens that as she's talking about putting the costume on and having fun, as the documentary is playing out, that's the image they show over her dialogue. So it's given a lot of viewers the impression that she's talking about that specific moment, where actually she's really not. She's just talking about, in general, I put on the costume and it was a lot of fun. But we realized that I was too. And over that, they just happened to show that image. But Sean Clark has, because he has actually seen BTS of that specific shoot, and he says it's Nick Castle.
They need to release that shit to us.
Yeah, unfortunately, Malika Cod.
Lindsay! She's one of us watching horror movies by herself in the dark.
Unfortunately, Malika Cod will not allow,
of course not,
it to be released. I believe the gentleman who has, and folks, it's like nearly, I think it's nearly like 1,000 BTS images, like hours of never before seen footage. And I believe the gentleman's name is Billy Kirkus, if I'm not mistaken. It's in his hands. I've spoken to him, not like
Now,
voice
correct
to
me
voice,
if I'm
but-
wrong, but from my understanding, isn't this the dog trainer who's playing Myers in this
Correct.
shot? It's
Well,
not Tommy Lee.
Not necessarily here. Well, it might be
No,
him
when
here.
he catches the dog.
Correct.
That's the dog trainer actually
Correct.
catching the dog. It's not any of the
Correct.
actors.
That's right. But Billy Kirkus and I exchanged a few messages on Facebook, and he said that I would love to release it. I really would, but unfortunately, Malik won't allow me to.
It doesn't make sense. Like, this is the kind of shit that people, especially fans, would love.
I know. But I was, but like you, I was like, no, Deborah Hill said that was her. But on rewatching it and actually listening to what she's saying, when you think about how the documentary's edited, they showed that image. And because we can't clearly see her, it gives the illusion that she's talking about that being her. Sorry?
I said, we got to watch this when we do our black and white run soon. Of the black and white movies,
the original thing from Another World.
We gotta
yes.
watch that. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, we'll do it, dude. We'll do it for sure. Now this is great too because this obviously helps to.
Well, yeah, because there was that still image I sent you of Michael running when he's on the ground.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's just Nick Castle goofing around, having fun,
getting out of the way.
yeah. It's not Michael running out of the frame.
No. But that's the kind of stuff like you want to see. You want to see what was going on behind the scenes and the fun they were having. It's not going to ruin the movie. No. I don't know why he doesn't want to release it.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I mean, listen, it's all about money, right? And I think at the end of the day, I think when Malik figures out a way to make money off of it, then maybe we'll see it. Now, this right here, of course, helps to solidify, again, that Lori doesn't believe, right? She doesn't believe in the boogeyman. There's no such thing. Well, I'm here. I'm not about to let anything happen to you. Promise. She has an arc in this movie. Like in this movie, she has a complete arc, right? She goes from not believing to believing. She goes from being innocent, virginal, sweet to, well, she's still a virgin by the end of the movie, but she fights back. She fights back and she's not, she saves herself and the kids. So,
She starts off as a virgin in this franchise. It ends up with 3 different dudes having 3 different babies.
Apparently.
Lori got around. She made up for lost time.
I would love to have watched this in the theater back in 78. Man, it would have been wild.
And again, this is one of the arguments.
Look at that shot.
One of my points of this shot of Nick Castle standing there in front of the door just to show that Michael, he's not a big guy.
No, he's just a guy.
I mean, he's not filling the doorway. He's not like, you know what I mean? Like he's just an average height guy. And that's the way Myers was intended to be originally and all along. He was never meant to be a big brooding monster like Jason.
No, of course not. Because that's why it's
I like my Michael bigger.
Well, that's fine. I mean, people like their Michaels bigger. That's okay. But yeah, no, he was just that's
average
what makes
guy
it
like you and me, average height, not super tall, not super big, but that's what makes it scary is the fact that he could be anybody guy and he's doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, if you pay close attention, for those of you that might not notice, look to the far left over here. Watch the shadow on the wall. You see a crew member's shadow.
Crew member.
There, right there.
There it is.
There it is.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, that was me. Sorry.
There he is in the background, tilting the head.
Yep. Love it. That I think is the first head tilt.
I think you're right.
That's the first head tilt.
You may be right.
Yeah, you may be right. I think that is because it's before. Now, whether they shot this before or after the Bob thing, I don't know. I imagine they shot, I don't know, probably in order, but I don't know. Maybe not. Low budget shoots can, well, it depends. Depends. Hi, Lindsay. Is Paul there? Of course, that's the voice of John Carpenter, for those of you that may not know.
And you can totally hear that it's his voice.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just a younger version of his voice.
Younger version of his voice. Now he'd be like...
about 10,000 less cigarettes.
Yeah.
Or 1 million less cigarettes.
Now he'd be like, Lindsay, is Annie there?
Go get Annie. Jeez.
Go get Annie, you fucking son of a bitch.
You locked yourself in.
I love it. I love it when he gets grumpy on shit. It's great.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Carpenter doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to watch basketball and play Xbox.
That's it.
That's it.
Maybe make some music here and there with his son. That's it.
I want to get to a point in
do.
my life where I don't have to worry about working and just play Xbox.
You want to make another shitty Halloween movie? Great. I'm going to get paid anyway.
Exactly. There you go. It's all you got to do. It's all you got to do, ladies and germs.
Yep.
Promise me you won't tell anybody about this. She got stuck in the window. She'll be right here.
You fucking little bitch. I would have been like, go to bed. I told you not to tell him, and you just told him. Go to bed, you son of a bitch. You imagine she said
Jolly Time Popcorn. I actually remember that. Do you remember Jolly Time Popcorn?
No, but
we would have been, it would have been right around like early 80s for us. So the brand was still around.
This is great.
There's the old school Quaker Oats in the background.
Here comes it. Here it comes. It's great. There he is.
Michael.
There he is. But it's so effective. Like, again, this kind of shit's like, we see this shit all the time now. But back then, this would have been like, oh, like the audience would have been, like it's so good.
And I wonder how many people missed it the first time.
Yeah, there could have been people. I mean,
people who missed it, they didn't see it, they didn't have the rewatchability that we get.
That's true. There might have been somebody, because back in those days, I mean, you weren't like going home and renting it on.
No, if you turned your head and missed, you missed the shot.
That's it.
Lock your door.
Bolt your windows and turn off the lights. Don't go away.
From the thing.
Well, why are you sitting here with all the lights on?
Oh, Paul! It's coming up. It's coming up.
I give you all.
No keys, but please, my Paul. It's great. Just leaving.
I think we should kick off the black and white run of Night of the Living Dead.
We've watched that though, haven't we?
I think we talked about it. I don't think we watched it.
Maybe I did.
Maybe we did.
I don't know. We'll check it out.
I know we talked about it, but we didn't. I don't think we watched it. Well, whatever. We'll start off
for
with
sure.
It anyways.
I love this. Like, what was that sound?
I don't know.
What? It's great.
1970s.
Yeah.
Something.
And of course, again, most of us know this by now, but if you look at where the door handle is on the outside of the house, it's very different than where it is on the inside of the house. That's because the interior is actually not that house. Now, this house here, the interior of the Doyle house,
it's like a couple down from
it's a couple doors down. That's right.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's on the Wallace house side, and I think it might be like either next door to the Wallace house or something. That's the interior.
If you want a real good look at what the Wallace house looked like inside, like really lit up, there's an episode of Highway to Heaven. It's a Halloween episode. Fun fact, Michael Landon was a big fan of the original Halloween horror movies. I guess he was friends with John Carpenter. And when they did their Halloween special, because it was a big TV shows. I don't know if they still do it because I don't watch many TV shows nowadays. But back in the day, TV shows would always do like a Halloween special, Thanksgiving special, Christmas special, etc.
Right.
On this specific episode of Highway to Heaven, it's one where Landon like turns into a werewolf, or the character, his angel character turns into a werewolf.
Okay.
The interiors of the house shots that they filmed in was inside the Wallace house, and you could see a Halloween fan's gonna like. They can see the layout. You see the staircase. You see someone coming down the staircase. You're like, oh, so that's what it looks like lit up.
That's cool.
It's really cool to see it lit
Here it is.
up.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But no keys, but please, my Paul. Oh, Paul. Oh, Paul. I love that you just hear her and you hear like the wind and see the branch from the tree and the crickets and stuff. I love that because folks, in horror movies, sometimes no music is just as, if not more effective, depending on, what you're going for. Oh, Paul, I can no longer stall. I can no longer stall. Oh, Paul. I love it. Where will he call? Anyways, go ahead. Sorry, you were talking about inside of the
I was just
Wallace
saying
house.
inside the Wallace house, you see
Yeah.
more of it basically. And it's remodeled, but you can, with the layout, you can still see that it's the Wallace house. So it's pretty
Gotcha.
cool. And he
Cool.
did that intentionally because of how much of he was a fan of Halloween.
Right.
The original, Michael Landon did it intentionally.
Very
He
cool.
wanted to film that episode there of Highway to Heaven.
Cool. That's cool.
That was a decent show
It
in
is.
the 80s. I watched it with my dad as a kid.
Yeah. Now, again, this is the closest we've actually been to Myers, really, at the end of the day. And you can see him, but again, it's got that very kind of soft focus, right? You get a really good idea, but it's that the storm, like this to me is kind of like the storm is really starting to make its presence felt now, right? You're seeing lightning, you're hearing thunder, all that kind of stuff. But maybe the rain hasn't started yet. Maybe you're hearing the thunder, you're seeing the lightning, but it hasn't started to rain yet, quite yet. It's great shit, man. It's Leslie Nielsen is in this movie, I think, as this voice here. Isn't this Leslie Nielsen? I can't fucking remember now.
You may be right. I don't remember.
And this is great too. When Tommy goes to hide behind the curtain, he looks out and he sees Annie being carried. Oh, it's so eerie. It's so eerie.
Well,
Like,
how
imagine
does he know that
seeing
that's
that.
not Paul? That's my question.
Yeah, because what's so eerie about it is that yes, it's Halloween night, and yes, you could be like, oh, it's just like a show, like they're having fun. But you have to ask yourself, well, who's their audience? Because that's why it's eerie, is because who are they doing this for? If it's fake, who are they doing it for? That's why it plays so real, because nobody's watching, nobody's out there. There's no trick-or-treaters. It's not like a little Halloween show. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? What the hell is this? Like, who are they? What? That would be so eerie to see that. Imagine looking out your window and seeing that. Fuck, I'd be like, okay. Like, there's nobody around. Fuck, that's so creepy.
Nobody believes me.
I know.
believe you, Tommy.
Nobody believes me. Tommy, you're a fucking loser. You're a... No.
No.
No, Tommy's not a loser in this movie. No, Freddy and Freddy's Dead is a loser. Not Robert Englund, the character.
Lindsay in Halloween Ends is irrelevant. Poor Lindsay.
What a waste.
Really? Another waste of a legacy character.
Yep. It's just stupid. I would never have brought them back if that's what they were going to do.
No.
You don't need them.
No.
It would not have.
They served literally no purpose.
I can tell you right now, the legacy characters being in Kills and Ends, if you were to remove them, I am pretty confident it would not have affected the box office whatsoever.
Nope.
Because they were not integral. They were just there.
Hey, Lonnie, get your ass
Oh yeah, here it comes.
there.
I'm not afraid, Bull. I'm not. Then go in. Go in, you fucker.
There he goes. Chicken. Go ahead, Lonnie.
Lonnie, the first urban explorer to creep inside of an abandoned house.
Hey, Lonnie, get your ass away from there.
And he's all proud of himself too. Look at him.
So
He's
now
got
here's
this
the
grin on his
question.
face.
So if this happens, this is what I would ask them in Kills, okay?
Mm.
So we all know that this happens to Lonnie with his buddies, with Richie and them during Halloween night. Where is Richie and the boys when Lonnie's by himself and he runs into the group of people that bully him before he ends up by himself again?
I don't know. Maybe they just
You know
took
what I
off and
mean?
went home.
I guess, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't, this seems like it would be, this happening seems like it would be happening later in the evening, whereas what we see in Kills is happening earlier, I guess, and then maybe he meets up with his boys.
Well, no,
later or some
because
shit. I don't know.
what happens-
I know it's hard to figure out when is what happened.
Well, because when Lonnie sees him in Kills, or when he has that reaction, Michael has already been shot off the balcony.
That's right. So it's actually it is later.
So it's much later,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is much earlier, I
Yeah.
guess, and then
Yeah.
he
I guess-
splits off,
I guess so. Lonnie just, I don't know, he was being a dick and wanted
ends
to
up
stay
by
out later.
himself.
Yeah, maybe he was just sitting on a curb eating candy.
And he didn't have his trick-or-treating thing in his hand like he does in Kills as well, too, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you're telling me And if you are right, damn you for letting him go.
Damn you. I didn't. I just.
Nice exchange. A nice exchange there from Brackett.
Yep.
Excuse me, Laurie. Why are you doing that? First we rip your clothes off, then we rip Lindsay's clothes off. What?
Kind of pedophile-ish, but you know.
Like what?
What, Bob? What, Bob? Say that again.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Okay, first I rip your clothes off.
Yeah, a line that you would not get away with today would be that.
Then you rip my clothes. Then
I
you
mean,
rip Lindsay's
everything
clothes
up
off.
until that point is fine, but
Well, and I gotta wonder because there's been a lot of speculation about it, right? He meant to say Annie, but he said Lindsay, which is entirely possible. Or it was a really dark joke.
very dark.
But has it ever been confirmed? Like, has anybody ever asked the actor? Has anybody ever asked Carpenter that? Like, that would be one of the questions.
Maybe he did mean Annie and didn't. And
Maybe.
he accidentally said Lindsay.
But has it ever been confirmed? Out of all the questions I ever hear people asking at conventions and stuff, and maybe they feel a bit awkward to ask it, I don't know. But I would ask it because it would be new information. And there's very little that we can discover about this movie that we have dissected up and down, back to front, new information about it. It's pending the release of all that BTS shit from Billy Kirkus, if Mustafa Akkad can actually allow it, there's not much more we can discover about this movie, but that's something, like there's a lot of speculation about it. It was probably this, it was probably that. Sure, maybe. But I want to know, like I would go up to a guy, I want to ask him, I want to be like, hey,
were you intending it to be a dark
like,
joke?
what happened?
Or did the actor accidentally screw up the name?
Right. And I know that Bob, the actor who plays Bob, does go to Halloween conventions from time to time. So that would be one of the things. Somebody's got to ask him that. Say, hey, now maybe he doesn't remember. I don't know. But I want to know, like, did you mean Annie when you said Lindsay? Was it just a dark joke and they didn't notice it or correct it? Or I don't know. I mean, this is where we are now with Halloween. We are scrounging the bottom of the barrel for new information. This is where we are now.
It's crazy though, when I do see Lindsay in the shots and now that I see her older, she even as a woman, you can still see Lindsay in the face.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
She's still she looks the same. Just, I mean, she's a kid here, but
She does. And so is, Jamie Lee Curtis is like 19. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're old enough to be Jamie Lee Curtis's father here.
That's scary.
No, it's true though.
That's fucking scary.
We'd be young. We would have had her we would have had her when we were 22, I guess. So young by today's standards. Jesus, parents in the 50s and 60s were having kids at 18. My mom had her first kid at 20.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, we're old enough to. And Annie,
Jamie Lee Curtis's father.
Yeah.
That's
and
scary.
The reason why,
movie.
Yes, in this movie, and the reason why Annie feels so much older is because she's like 29 here. Annie's only 10 years younger than Cyphers. Cyphers is 39 in this movie. Cyphers looks
right. Wasn't PJ Souls in her early 20s?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, like 25 or 6 or something or whatever. Like but Annie, Nancy Loomis, as it was then, yeah, she's like 28 or 9. Charles Cyphers is 39. He looks like he's 52. He doesn't look 39 to me in this movie at all.
Get it, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Get it, Bob.
Hang on, I'm going to put up my... Here it goes.
Bob is tapping that ass.
Shit. The phone keeps ringing.
Well, maybe it's the Wallaces. We don't want to get Andy in trouble,
Don't want to get Andy in trouble. I think I got that. Matthew Farisi sends in $4.99, says, my headcanon for why it got dark so early in Halloween is that Annie had to go buy some weed. Not saying it's true, but that's my truth. There you go.
I agree.
Chad Powers sends in $5, says, it's shocking. I think after 1990, John Carpenter made some of the worst Hollywood films on earth. Ghosts of Mars, Escape from LA, but Vampires was good. Yeah, he definitely, I actually kind of have a, Village of the Damned is a guilty pleasure of mine. And I actually think that In the Mouth of Madness is not bad, but.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Fantastic, Bob. Good job,
There's the
Bob.
first nipple. There's the first nipple shot. Fast Forwards 289 sends in $4.99, says, what's up, D&T? You're watching my 2 favorite Halloween movies of all time. Happy Halloween, fellas. Happy Halloween to you too, Fast Forwards. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Go
We're
get
doing
me
pretty
a
good.
beer.
Yeah. Thought you were going to get me one. Yeah! You want to fucking go? And then they get into like this big fight in the bed. Start heaving each other through walls.
Sounds like me and my girl. Bickering over dumb shit.
What fuck no? Bob. And you
Did that
think,
cigarette go out? I think it did. Because there's no smoke, PJ.
did it? I don't know.
I
We
think
are,
it went out.
dude, there is only
No, it
26, there is only 26 minutes left in this movie, and we still have not seen Myers close up clearly. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that great? Now, I mean, we saw him close up through the windshield of the car. Like, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, when we're going to actually see him when he lifts up his head into frame and whatnot. It's great. Because even here, he's close up, he strangles Bob, but it's the way he's lit in shadow and stuff. It's so great. It's so great. I'm going to turn this up for our audience. Linda, you asshole. You can hear his breathing, too.
Linda, you asshole.
How would Linda get down there without you noticing and hide behind the pantry? hiding there.
Come on now.
Oh! There he is! Yes!
And he doesn't even bend his arm. He just like straight arms that shit.
Just fucking right up like that and stuff. This is the
That's what I'm
world's
saying. That's
strongest
what makes
butcher knife.
Michael so scary in this original film is that a dude his size, just straight arm, like, first of all, picking up a human being is almost impossible to do that.
Yes.
But the fact that that's the message they're conveying on screen, that's fucking scary.
Yeah, it is. Well, because Bob is about a guy his height. Look,
if not taller.
I
maybe,
love the little light they have focused on the knife.
The knife.
It's great. That knife is holding him up. How's that possible? That's one fucking strong magic knife, man. Here it comes. This is so great.
This was so much fun to recreate in our own twist. The room wasn't exactly the same, I know, but we had to do with what I can work with.
I love
Still
that.
had a vintage vibe to it.
I love that photo you took of just Michael in the doorway from like a lower angle.
Oh yeah,
looking up at him
with the pumpkin.
With the
on
pumpkin,
the ground.
fucking great. Love that photo you took.
And see the headspace between him and the door frame.
Yep.
Some people were like messaging me today about that shot. I'm like, if you look at the original movie, there's a lot of headspace between Nick Castle and the fucking door frame, just like right there.
Yep.
What's the matter? Can I get your ghost?
What's the matter?
Bob?
Can I get your ghost?
Can I
Bob?
get your ghost, Bob? Michael under there is like, shut up, bitch. Okay, come on.
All right, come on. Where's my beer?
Well, can't you answer me?
Well, can't you answer me?
No.
Weird.
No, I'm not. This is great. This is great.
She's hot. She is hot in this. This is right around when she did Carrie as well, too, right?
2 years after. Yep.
Yeah. Dun.
Dun.
There it is. The
Ding,
shade
ding,
stops.
ding, ding. The first time we've heard it.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I love. Now I get your famous chewing. Now I get your famous squealing. Yep. There it is. And the sheet comes off his head as he's strangling Linda, and you get a kind of a good look at him there, and then it's that lift up, man. Now remember, we're an hour and 7 minutes into this movie. There's just over 20 minutes left in the film. That's it. Just basically 20 minutes left in the movie, I'll kill you. This is a joke, Annie. And now, here it comes. Now we see right here. Now we see it in all its glory. No soft focus, no blurry vision, no, split lighting. We see it. And it's now finally, it feels earned. It feels like it's the right time. It's great. We didn't see it too soon. I mean, I understand when you make a bunch of sequels, we've seen it and what's the point of delaying it? I get it. But in a movie like this, if you want to make a movie like this where your antagonist is kind of like a Michael Myers figure-esque kind of thing or whatever, like Hush. I thought Hush was a great film. If you want to make movies like that, don't be afraid to tease your audience. Don't show or reveal, the perpetrator or the antagonist or the character too soon. Play with it. Play with lighting. Play with light and shadow.
There's your blue light.
Suggestion. Oh God, blue light.
There's Dave's blue light.
Stop that.
There's Dave's blue light. Right on Jamie Lee Rimminger.
I regret the day I said that because so many people thought I meant just basting the entire picture in blue. Like, no. And it's not even blue. It's a pale whitish blue, which is actually what it is. It is more, that's actually more correct.
Shut up, Dave. You just like your blue lighting.
To moonlight. I know. Oh, I used to get DMs all the time. You fool, you're not going to have a whole thing. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Folks, he wants it to be all purple, blue Smurf.
Yes. I just want them to color grade the fucking movie in blue.
That's it. Smurfs.
That's it.
And
just
the
put a
opening
blue
theme is
filter
going to be
over
the I'm Blue song. I'm blue, da-da-dee-da.
Oh, God, I remember that song. So was the car always there? Like, did Loomis not notice it?
Was just oblivious, or did Michael? No, because Michael moved it. Remember, it was in front of the Doyle house, and then he moved it.
Yeah.
So Michael obviously moved
it. Loomis didn't see this actually happening.
No,
I guess not.
Attention.
I guess not. Here we are. She's looking over, waiting for her cue. Somebody goes, now.
Right, pretty much. Yep. That's it.
For sure. Ah, yes. Yep.
Don't forget the keys.
The keys. The keys. The keys. People watching at home right now are going, Dave, shut up. Fuck. God, you're so dramatic. She's got to open the door and kind of like slide out so she doesn't open it too wide and we see that it's not actually the same door or the same porch.
This was another theme that was heavily missed in the new. This is a theme that's heavily missed a lot. Well, no,
Laurie's theme.
Curse brought it back a little bit.
Yeah, I love this theme.
It's one of my favorites. That definitely did not get utilized at all in this new trilogy.
No, it didn't.
I mean, it did a little bit right in the last one here, faintly, but just I don't know why they didn't do an updated version of it.
Maybe I'm not sure.
I mean, because there's just certain themes with Halloween that's very identifiable besides the theme and the shaped stocks theme. This is one of them. The Myers house theme is another one. You're watching a Halloween movie when you hear this shit. And the later sequels definitely shied away from a lot of this stuff. Although 4 has a little bit. Watching 4 last night, I always forget certain elements and certain themes. I'm like, oh yeah, they did use this. I forgot.
Yep.
Nope, there's a little lens flare there. Must have been some J.J. Abrams.
Maybe.
JJ was on set that day. That was JJ's one shot in the Halloween franchise. A little lens flare. Yeah, that fucker flares the shit out of his movie.
Oh, he used to. Not so much anymore.
That was the running joke.
Yeah.
the JJ flare.
I love this though. She's walking around. She's like, Bob? Annie? Bob?
I will say, I don't know, maybe it's just because we're older now. I don't know. There's just something. The aesthetic feel for Halloween night doesn't. I don't know. It felt like Halloween in the 90s, but the older I get, it just doesn't feel like Halloween anymore. It just feels like another day. Maybe it's just because we're older.
Right. I got you.
But like when it gets to this point of the film, now it doesn't feel like springtime. It does feel like it's genuinely Halloween night.
Right.
When we get to here.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Well, that's also because you can mask the fact that it's springtime because it's night, right? I think you just said that, right?
In your blue lighting.
Fuck. Oh, lordy. Fast Forwards 29 sends in 499, says, what's y'all favorite shot of the original Mask? Mine is the promotional banister shot. Yeah, oh, man, it's hard to pick, buddy. I have to think about that for a moment. It's hard to pick. There's some really good ones. I love when he comes to the top of there's so many. The hedge, in the car, top of the stairs. I love when he comes to the top of the stairs and it's very brief. That shot right there, that's a promotional shot. He looks great in that. I'm pointing to the picture in the opening of my booth there.
Tabitha, you're in the trunk of your car watching us. Are you all right?
She must be at the drive-in or something.
Do we gotta call 911 or some shit?
Maybe she's at the drive-in and she's sitting in the trunk of her car.
Was that code for like you need some rescuing?
Maybe she does.
Like,
Tabitha.
Shit.
Yeah.
If you need some help, like let us know, girl. Seriously, shit.
Let us know. This is great though. Like this moment of suspense, going back between her and the POV, coming up the stairs, the music. Again, we've seen this so many times now but in 1970, I always tell people, if you're younger or if you're not into, maybe you're older, but you're not into older movies, I don't know. Usually it's a younger generational thing. Always try to do your best to watch older movies within within the context of, it's hard, but within the context of when they came out, and it really does help to improve your enjoyment of watching the movie and help you to appreciate a lot of the things that you're seeing relative to its time period. Obviously this movie's dated of course, but when you think about the era for which it came out, the year it came out, it does. It's dated in terms of its production value and the way it's look, and some of the acting's a little cheesier, but in terms of its story and its, theater of the mind, it's all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a timeless way to do horror. It's a timeless way to do horror. Yep.
I am going to recreate this one day.
Yeah, you got to. And then I want you lying on the bed, though. You have to be lying on the bed.
In my Florida State shirt.
Yes.
Disgruntled.
Yeah.
Nothing but just my Florida State shirt. That's it.
Here comes Bob. Now, what's Bob doing? Hanging in the closet? Is he like...
He's getting his vampire on, I guess.
Yeah. I always used to think that Linda's body was cut in half here. Like, it kind of feels... But I know she's just kind of like her... The rest of her is the other way, but it always kind of read that way to me as a kid. It was kind of funny. And here comes a lot of people's favorite shots.
Yep, another great one.
Of Myers. Yep, turn it up. It's got the light on a dimmer.
And then, bam.
Yep.
And now Laurie's life has officially changed forever.
Yep, officially changed forever. And now this shot here, I love that when he comes around, just kind of walks in and out of the light there a little bit. Yep. Then he comes to the top of the stairs. That shot, that's cool. You don't really see his mask, but it's really cool. But there's a lot of great shots. It's because look, it's the first one, right? They didn't think they were going to do a sequel. They took their time. They crafted their shots. They crafted the lighting.
They made a $300,000 film make you feel like you're watching $1 million film.
Yeah.
At times, with the way they crafted the art of their shots.
Right. But they really, and that's what it's like.
And the music.
For sure. Oh, for sure. But when you know how to craft your lighting, craft your shots, where you're going to put the camera.
Tommy Lee Wallace, right? Busting through the door.
It is. Yes. That's Tommy Lee Wallace. Yeah. Now, I don't know I'm not sure if this is Tommy Lee Wallace. It could be.
Maybe they did a cut back.
They might have switched.
In the door. Right.
They might have switched.
That's easy to do because there's a cutaway shot of Laurie.
There is.
And then they cut back to Michael. So, that's
maybe not. I don't know.
Be interesting to ask Tommy Lee.
Yeah, let's ask that.
Not the drummer, but
No, I know, yeah. But there's a question to ask, right?
that is like, was that you through the whole shot sequence,
Yeah.
or did you do a cutaway and did Nick put his hand in the door,
Like, listen.
and bring it back?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Tommy Lee Wallace is a big guy, and that doesn't
He
look
is
like
big
a
guy.
big guy when he opens the door.
Well, and
You know what I mean?
right. And, listen, I love.
And when I say big, I mean he
I know
is bigger than Nick Castle.
He is. And I just want to say that like, it's just that like, look, you're paying to be there. You can ask whatever you want. But sometimes when I watch like panels or Halloween panels, whatever, not all the time, but generally people are asking the same questions over and over again. And it's like, God, come ask different questions. Yeah, the keys.
I love this. This is another great, sequence of him just
Dude.
walk, Nick. Just
Dude,
walk. What do you want me to do? Just
Speaking of
walk.
great shots, this is one of my favorite shots. It's when he steps off the curb and he does a little bit of like a little bit of a wobble, but he steps right there. Hang on, it's not it. It's coming. It's this shot right here, and you see leaves going in front of the frame, and you see the masks right there. You see those leaves right there. Oh, yes.
What do you want me to do? Just walk, Nick. Just walk.
But it looks
That's
so
it.
good. The split lighting, the leaves coming into frame at that exact moment, him walking across the street. Again, learn to craft your shots, take your time, where you're placing your camera. You're telling a story especially with horror movies, because mood and atmosphere is such a big part of the feeling or a big part of creating the feeling to your picture. And again, there's many different types of horror movies. I get that. But with movies like this, that theater of the mind, suspense, thriller kind of stuff, man, it's great. It's great. But yeah, folks, ask different questions. Come up with watch the movie and figure something out rather than, what was it like to play Michael Myers? Oh, God.
Well, let me answer that for the 900th time.
Yeah. And look, I mean, if you don't know and it's your first time, to be fair, I understand that maybe you don't know and it's your first time asking it and you've never heard him say it and you don't watch videos where he said it 1,000 times. I get all that. I totally get that and I respect that. It'd be nice to get some new questions.
Like his leg is bent.
Yeah, you know what? It kind of, I never noticed that before. It kind of does look like his
bent.
legs bent a little bit.
Like he's trying to fit back there.
Yeah. Now it doesn't even look like he's back there, or you think you would see his legs.
You would think
kind of in the shadow.
A little bit or something.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm quite confident in filming this. He wasn't back there.
He's probably not back there. He should have been, though, if you want to get real specific with continuity.
Right.
But,
Continuity reasons. Maybe they weren't thinking of it, but clearly, you should see something because that couch isn't that big. And I know Nick Castle's only like 5'10" on a good day, but or 5'11". Some people say he's 5'11", whatever. 5'10", 5'11". The point is, you should see something back there. I will say this. Me personally, I am a fan of the old school police cruisers, whether it's from the 70s or 80s. The new ones, I mean, they're cool, but I mean, I get it. With modern cars, your the vehicle shapes are going to be different.
Mhm.
Now, like a lot of cop cars in our areas, they've got like your car, the Charger.
I have a Challenger.
Or Challenger, sorry. Challenger, yeah. That's
Really?
what
You have Challenger police cars?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, down here, man, down here, we got a lot of stretches where you can go.
Yeah.
And straightaways. And cops were just getting dusted. And so they had to, put these cops in faster vehicles to keep up with these idiots who want to, go 120 in areas that you can go 120 and not get wrecked.
I get it. Now, this is one of... okay, I was so silly I had a brain fart earlier.
What?
This is my favorite shot of The Shape. This is it coming up right here.
The staircase?
Yep, it's the photo that I had Nick Castle sign for me. He signed to Dave, to the VoiceMann. That shot, hang on, it's coming up right there. That's it. That's my favorite shot of The Shape. I think there's a ton. There's a ton of shots I love, but that's just, and the way the camera is, it's a bit lower to the ground, right? So we're looking up at him, giving him more of a commanding presence.
From his wound.
But we're giving him we're giving him more of a commanding presence, looking up at him. He walks out of the light into the sort of the dimly lit shadows. It's great. It's so great. That's definitely is probably my favorite shot of him in this movie. Yeah,
Even the way he walks into the room, he just has a glide.
he does. He
to
does.
his walk.
But yeah, I had Nick Castle sign that photo. That's so, yes, I would probably say that that's it, because that's the one I chose. There was a ton of them there, but that's the one I chose. This is great too. Like imagine watching this in 1978. Fuck, like you'd be on the edge of your seat right now. You would be on the edge of your seat. Now, for those of you that don't know, of course, I'm sure a lot of you do, this is not Nick Castle breaking the closet. It is Tommy Lee Wallace. And it is Tommy Lee Wallace that peers in and looks down at Laurie Strode. One of the most...
No, it's not Dave, it's Nick Castle.
Yeah, well, there's probably somebody out there that's gonna say that. But it's one of the most iconic shots of Michael Myers, and it's not Nick Castle. That right there is Tommy Lee Wallace. And the mask looks good on him, too.
It does.
Like, it looks good on him. Oh! Right in the eyeball.
She's really good with those eye shots.
She is, man.
You know, I mean,
she's great with those eye shots.
And now I think the cutaway with Myers on the floor, that's back to Castle.
Correct.
Yeah. And Castle does do the sit-up, which is my favorite shot of Michael.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. There's so many great shots. And it's great, too, because we've discussed this. It's great because they don't rack focus. They don't pull focus. They keep Laurie in focus. Now, Myers is not completely out of focus. It's what we would call a soft focus.
Soft focus.
But you could, like when he sits up in the background, you could pull focus and suddenly show him. Like you could just do that, you know, rack focus is what it's called, and just reverse the focus onto him and have her out of focus to kind of have like a dun dun dun. But they don't do that. They just let the moment speak for itself. They keep with Laurie, you know, at the door, leaning against the doorway. They just stay with her and you just see him sit up and turn. It's great. It's great. And believe it or not, racking focus would have made that shot feel different. It's something so small, but that detail would have definitely, I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked, but it would have had a different feel to it.
Different feel. Yeah. I agree. Call the police.
Once you go down the street, once you go to Mackenzie's house, I want you to call the police, tell them to call the police and send them over here. Go. Go now.
Yeah, again, there, right? Soft focus.
Yep.
Laurie's in focus. So look at that. Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yes.
That's when my my girl's like, "You want a foreplay tonight?" What? Sit up with the mask on.
That's funny. And Loomis knows, like, I just heard screaming kids coming out of that fucking house. I'm going to go in there with my machine gun. And I love the way that Nick stands up and just, it's so
great. Very
great.
subtle stand.
Yeah. Like that. Coming forward.
Now this is Tony, right? At this point,
this is Tony Moran. I believe so. Yes, I believe this is Tony Moran. Yes. I mean, obviously, when the mask comes off, it's him. But this here too, when he's doing that, I believe that's him as well. The mask comes off.
There it is, the original Michael
Myers.
There
it is, Tony. Own it, buddy. Own it. There it is, my man. There it is.
And that was back to Castle.
And that, yeah. Right? That's a good question.
It's Tony.
No. This might be. I think that's Nick here. Yes, I think that's Nick. And then this is Jim Wilburn or whatever his name is.
Yeah, stunt guy.
Yeah, and then you're back to Nick there, lying on the ground.
Was that the boogeyman? No, that's not what he says.
No, it was the.
Was it the boogeyman?
Oh, I have the captions on to see if it was going to get it right, and it got it right. Good.
Did it?
Yep. She says
it
was the boogeyman. As a matter of fact, it was. Because it's important. She's not asking the question anymore. She knows, right?
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't make sense for her to say, was that the boogeyman? No, she knows it's the boogeyman. That's her arc. At the beginning, she didn't believe in the boogeyman. And now it was the boogeyman, and he's gone.
I could play this two ways.
She was right.
You ever
or
seen
Tommy
that?
was right.
where he says he could play it two
yeah.
ways.
Yep.
He could play like I knew this would happen.
Yeah.
Or what was the other way?
Well, to play like surprise, like, oh my God.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Or like and they went with the I knew it. Like I knew this shit was gonna happen. God damn it.
Yep. But he plays it very cool. Like, yeah, he knows. He knows.
He
And
like
he's out
he
there.
knew. He's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he's
put up
out
with this
there.
shit for the next 30 years of my life.
And then you just have the breathing, showing the spots where he's been, and that's it. That was that was supposed to be it. As I've said many times, Michael was gone at the end of the movie, not to set up a sequel, but to deliver the message of the movie, which is you cannot kill the boogeyman. I know there's a lot of people that would say that, but it's true. And Laurie, it was the boogeyman. She realizes Tommy was right. That is her arc. She didn't believe, and now she believes it was the boogeyman. As a matter of fact, it was. Scene, roll credits, done. End of the fucking thing. And you could literally watch, and that's it. You could watch this movie on its own, and that's it. However, there is a movie that came out 3 years later called Halloween 2 from 1981.
I'm getting it set up.
And that's what we're going to dive into next. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Halloween. My favorite horror movie of all time. My favorite, of course, in the series. However, my second favorite in the franchise is Halloween 2 from 1981. It came in second place in our poll at 19%. So we're going to watch Halloween 2 from 1981 next. It should be a lot of fun. And you can watch this as like one movie with two separate parts. And this is it. Michael, it ends with him burning alive. You know what I mean? And that was supposed to be it. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I'm just going to go to the washroom, just take a quick washroom break. I'll be right back. Tony, hold the fort, answer some questions if you want, or get nude and start arm wrestling your dog. I don't know, whatever you want to do, whatever you want. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Mr. Sandman. Yes. We need to watch at some point. We got to watch the batshit crazy TV edit cut. That's what we need to watch. I think we're going to do that next year. Be right back. He should have had like music playing. Break out some DJ Mikey, Tony. Yeah, I know, right? I am working on a new mix right now. I haven't perfected it yet, but I'm working on something to do that I'm going to post in a couple days. Tell us that you really love Halloween Ends. $1 million, accepting PayPal payments only. Where can you find my photos? On my Facebook page, Johnny Cahill. Yeah. Right below, there's that Anthony Michael 579. I should do a mix with Mr. Sandman. That's a tough song to mix. Because it's got a slow melody. I'd have to do it with like a doo-wop thing, like maybe with something like Dion and the Belmonts. That song could probably work with something else, something from that like malt shop era would work. Yes, Rosalita, I'm a DJ. I've been DJing since I was a kid. Started with my dad. My dad was a radio DJ and a regular just DJ. He did fundraiser dances for the Guide Dog Foundation. It's a company up in Connecticut called Fidelco Guide Dog. And he would do fundraisers for them yearly, big like oldies dances and stuff. And that's what got me into DJing. And then I got a job here in Atlanta when I was 21 back in 2000, 2000. Working for a radio station doing the mix shows on the weekends for them and mixing music and stuff like that. So do I do parties? No. The only thing I ever did was like clubs back in the day for the radio station when we would broadcast like on the air. Like you guys know, I mean, if I don't know if radio is still like it is what it was when we were younger. Like when we were younger, you would hear the club shows live on the weekends, broadcasting live. And that's what my job was, to mix the music from the clubs. And there would be an on-air, the disc jockey, on-air talent would be there talking on the microphone and, getting people to come down and shit like that.
All right.
So, no,
I'm
I do
back.
not. I do not have a YouTube. And Dave's back, and he's going to hold the fort now while I go to the bathroom.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good, my man. Sounds good. Yeah, bloody hell. Let me see here. Super chat from AK Channel TV, $1.99. So Tony Moran only was Michael for that one scene. Yep. Well, really that one shot. I'm not 100% sure whether it was Tony that came out of the room to strangle Lori. That might have been him as well. But for sure, yes, the only shot where you see Tony is when the mask, that's Tony Moran. So that's it. That's it. And then Movie Juice, $5 says, hey, Tony, how do you usually go about getting models for your shoots? I'll let Tony answer that. I think I don't know if he puts out a call or what. I know he's made a lot of connections and he's using regulars, I think, but I'll let Tony answer that. And then we'll jump into Halloween 2 from 1981. I think that this is, and listen, there's sequels that I like, and obviously there's sequels I don't like, but I think Halloween 2 is probably the most feeling, the sequel that feels the most like the original. And there's a variety of reasons for that. One being, of course, that it's only 3 years removed from 1978. So the production value in terms of the way it looks and the quality feels like it's from that era. It feels like it was shot at the same time. You also have Dean Cundy returning as director of photography. So you obviously you have a DP who I don't know if they use the same gaffer or lighting team. I'm not sure, but certainly you have a DP who understands the visual aesthetic of what they created before. Now, although Halloween 2 is more Friday the 13th for sure than the original, there is that feel to it. There are certain, it feels like it gels in terms of the certain shots or the lighting, even though it's a bit different. And I think that's largely because of Dean Cundy. And of course, Alan Howarth. The score is more synthesized, which is amazing. There's a lot to like about this movie. Yes, it's more Friday the 13th. I don't think it's as good as the original. But I do think as far as Halloween sequels go, it's one of the best. And in my opinion, it's the best one because it feels like it's connected. I actually think you could remove the sister arc altogether. I don't think you need it because we actually never see Laurie Strode find out that she is Michael's sister. We actually never see that character come to that realization. So I think you could, as I've said many times, the dream that she has in the hospital about her foster mother, you could change that to a dream of what just happened that night. Maybe she dreams back to that moment in the closet. And then the scene with Dr. Loomis and Marion in the back of the marshal's car, where they talk about, the druids and all that kind of stuff. You could still have him talk about all that, but then Marion talks about something else. Maybe she talks about Michael's file and something to do with him, but doesn't mention Laurie. So those are the only two, because that's where we discover that she is his sister. You just, sort of rework those scenes and you don't even need that. Now, I know you could ask, well, then why would Michael go after her, right? Well, I mean, you don't have to explicitly say. You could just allude and suggest that it's because she's the one that got away. He had an infatuation with her from the start. That's the motivation. That's not necessarily the motive, because he's motiveless, but certainly the motivation was because he was infatuated with this girl and she got away, and you could just play it like that. But that being said, they do have all that in there, and it works. It does work. And so it's interesting. It's interesting, but I do think that for me, it's a good 1-2 punch. It's a good 1-2 punch if you have a desire to go beyond the original intent of the character. And then super chat comes in from Gary Nidjian. I'm probably butchering your last name, Gary. $5 says, why isn't the 1990 film Misery top rated on IMDb or anywhere else? It's super good. James Caan is a legend. Well, because IMDb is a sack of crap when it comes to ratings, really, at the end of the day. You can't really take that, I don't know. I have no idea. People like to review bomb. People like to, I don't know. No idea, my man. No idea. Tony is back.
I'm back. Yeah, I had to grab the candy in from outside because we're going to run into the wee hours.
Gotcha.
Here, we had a few. Our neighborhood doesn't really get anything. We only had a couple.
I gotcha.
So.
All right, are we ready to do this?
Yeah, man, let's roll.
Okay, let's do it. So, I'm paused like 3 seconds in. I'm watching
it just as it's about to hit the Mr. Sandman.
Oh, okay. I'm paused.
Like it's black screen and Mr. Sandman hasn't started yet. It's
okay, 1 sec. I'm at the Universal logo, so 1 second. Let me get past Universal logo. Universal, an MCA company. Love that old logo. Okay, now I've paused it because I think this is where it comes in.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Halloween 2, more of the night he came home. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, that's I'm gonna redub it, and that's what I'm gonna do. Mr. Sandman, bring me your dream.
Crap.
Be really annoying to watch.
Pause it. Where are you at? My thing froze on me.
Oh, it froze? I'm just like at a shot of the foliage of the tree as we're petting down.
Okay. Give me a second. I knew
Well,
that
I guess we're
because I had it on pause and when I took a bathroom break. Yeah. My playback on my computer does this all the fucking time.
No worries. No worries. That's where I'm paused. I'm 50 or 37 seconds, I guess. I don't know if we're watching it. Same thing, but yeah, I just see the foliage of the tree. That's where I'm paused.
Okay. October 31st, 1978.
Yeah. I don't even see the house yet.
Okay. Nights are over. Okay. Foliage.
All right. Ready?
Go.
Okay. Gone. Turn on your magic.
I will say Halloween 4 is my second favorite in this franchise, but I fucking love this sequel. I really do.
It's great. It's a great 1-2 punch.
I watch this at least 2 or 3 times a year. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
It's a great Halloween movie.
Now this looks like her real hair. I think this is a different take of that same like this shot here, not the shot we're about to cut to when he sits up, but this shot when she's talking to the kids, she says go. She doesn't say go at the end of Halloween 78.
So it's a different take.
So I think it's a different take. I don't think they reshot it because this doesn't look like the horrible wig that she wears for the rest of the movie. It looks like her real hair. So I think they just used a different take. Why? I don't know, but little details like that. Go. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe she says go in 78, but doesn't say it in 81. I can't remember, but it's one of the two where she doesn't say it and it's a different take. The only thing I don't like about this, of course, is when he steps into the light, we see sort of his lids a little bit in his eyes, but it's not
just a little bit.
It is what it is. Come here, you fucking son of a bitch! Goddamn son of a bitch! I got right into there, you are.
Sorry, Michael Jackson, but Michael Myers was the first to air moonwalk.
Ooh, I'm gonna fucking shoot you in the face, right? You bastard.
Here he goes up the ramp, air moonwalks. It looks like he's air moonwalking.
Yeah, and I never noticed that till years later that he's actually, when he goes up the ramp here, he's level with the railing. So he's obviously on a ramp. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's.
And then of course you see the soft pad at the bottom there when he hits the ground.
Yeah, and it's a very different balcony.
I don't think they needed to. I don't even think they needed to do that. Yeah, it is a different balcony, right?
Well, I just don't understand why.
Actually, it's the house balcony. The problem with 78 is they used a different balcony.
They did. Oh well, it was the backyard of another house.
Right.
But I don't understand why. I mean, there's obviously got to be a reason, but why didn't you just use the footage from the first movie?
I don't know.
Just do that.
And
Now
then
this,
now
I gotta say, I find this comical. I find this, seeing the snow angel imprint of him on the front lawn, I think is completely unnecessary. I don't think you need to see it at all. All you need to show is that he's gone, and it's much more effective when Loomis now kneels down.
Especially given the fact that it looks like he landed on dirt.
Right,
in the
right.
first one.
But-
Not this much grass.
But you see here when he sees the blood, that's the signal that he was there. That's the signal. You don't need this snow angel imprint that, I mean, he wasn't lying there long enough to create that. So you don't need that. Just show that there's nothing there. He goes over, he puts his hand down, he lifts it up, and he sees the blood. That's it. That's the sign that he was there. It's much more eerie.
This sounds like Tommy Lee Wallace.
It is.
That's what I figured, because that guy's lips are not moving.
Yeah. Yeah, the voice is Tommy Lee Wallace, not the actor.
You don't know what death is.
Yes! Listen to that theme, baby! Bum, 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 bum. It's a great
Very
fucking opening, I'm
80s,
telling you right now.
Early 80s. Yeah.
It's a great
I love
opening. The theme is
With
great.
the pumpkin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, you don't know what death is. Cue the theme. It's like, yes! Here we go, baby!
Came out the same year as
Dino De
Friday the
Laurentiis.
13th Part 2. Did you know that?
Yes,
This
that's
and
right.
Friday the 13th Part 2 came out in the same. And
Yep.
Think about that. Think about that. Two of the better sequels in those respected franchises came out within months of each other's. I mean, if you were around back then to appreciate this, I envy you.
I know. Well, and also, too, I mean, basically, Halloween 2 was Halloween's answer to Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th was an answer to Halloween. You know what I mean? So it was like they were kind of, you know.
Competing with each other.
Yeah,
And giving fans some great shit.
that's it. Blood damn blithering.
Lance Guest. There he
Lance
is.
Guest.
Jamie Lloyd's father.
Lance Guest was a nice guy. I met him at the 40th convention. I met Pamela Susan Shoop at the 40th as well. She was very nice. Yes. Yeah, this opening is great. Great opening. Like I said,
That
as far as
pumpkin's in
sequels
my,
go,
kitchen.
yeah, I
It's not
love that
real.
you have
It's-
that
it's-
pumpkin.
It's not real, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this one's not real either.
Yeah. I love that you have that pumpkin, though.
Yeah, I had someone do the original back there, and then in my kitchen I have the Halloween 2 one with a
Mhm.
skull in it.
Nice. Nice.
Small one.
That's awesome.
Very small one.
That's cool, though. Yep. Yeah, as far as sequels go, I mean, it's one of the best. I know there are people that say it's too slow. I agree with you. There are slower moments in it, for sure.
I
But
don't know. I think it has a good steady beat to it.
no, I mean the movie overall,
Oh.
not the theme. But
No. I mean the movie. I
Oh.
think the movie's got a good pace.
I
You
think
know, it's
I think the security guard scene where he goes to check things out, I think either
Little
needed a bit of
drawn out.
music or just kind of to shorten it up a bit. Like I get it, but as far as Halloween sequels go, it's one of the best, for sure, hands down.
good old Dean Cundy
Yep,
doing that cinematography.
love that
Was
light.
this the
that
last
is
one that he
below.
did for Halloween?
Last Halloween movie, yeah. I think he went on from here to do The Thing. I
Bigger
think.
and better things.
Did he do The Thing? I think he was the DP on The Thing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're
I
right.
think he did Escape from New York, and then of course he solidified his legacy as a legendary DP with Back to the Future, the Back to the Future
Back to the
trilogy,
Future.
and then Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Jurassic Park.
Lot
I
of
mean,
good
fuck.
shit. Yes, Chester. Halloween 2 is my third favorite in the franchise. It goes 1, 4, 2, and then 3. And
Yeah,
fuck the
I'm
rest.
reversed. I'm 1, 2,
Yeah,
4.
yeah. I don't care.
1,
about the
2, and
rest.
4 is a great trilogy.
It is. It's
1,
an
2,
awesome
4.
trilogy.
That's it. Don't watch 5.
When I show this to my girl as a whole for the first time, it's
Yeah.
going to be 1, 2, 4. That's it. That's all
That's
she
it.
needs to see. She doesn't need to see anything
No,
else.
don't ever.
We're not going to confuse her.
Tell her that no other movies exist.
Exactly. And then 3 for fun.
That's it.
Because I got to have my Dr. Dan moment with her.
Yeah. Like, and
I love
again,
that scene last night. He's like, That's a silly question now. In the hotel room.
I know.
I shot him six
times.
times.
I shot him in the heart. I shot him 6 times.
He can't have gotten very far.
I know. You hear Brackett? He's like, "What? Come on."
Well, he's just
shut up."
I know. He's just so.
He can't have gotten very far.
He sounds like he's drunk.
But again, we look at, because this movie is only 3 years removed, the production value, it really does feel like it's the same night. It doesn't. It's not
It
like.
does.
Like, yes, they did a terrific job at the flashback scene in Kills. They did an amazing job, but it's modern production value, right? The quality, the way things look, how it's polished. It's great, and certainly you can buy into it if they did a whole movie like that, sure. But this really does feel like it's the same time period, and that's kind of cool.
You asleep again? Get your fucking
There it is.
ass up.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to watch that.
Mr. and Mrs. Elrod.
I want an Elrod movie. I want an Elrod story
Dude.
for the Halloween TV series.
I want an Elrod trilogy. That's what I all about life in the a day in the life
living
of
in
these two.
Haddonfield. Yeah, exactly.
Just making sandwiches and eating porridge, man. Eating
and
grits.
He's beating her. Because isn't
Oh,
that what
God.
Alice says?
Awful. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's a great shot there.
That's an awesome shot.
That's
if I
a
could
great
recreate
shot.
a shot, that would be I would love to do that.
You got to do it. You got to do
Just
it.
got to find 2 elderly people.
Yeah.
To come in, I mean, I do. If I want to pull off
Yeah.
an Elrod
Oh,
shot,
I
I
see
got
what
to
you're
get
saying.
2
Yeah,
elderly people to do it for me. But I like because it's the threes. The shot is layered. You got Mr. Elrod and then Mrs. Elrod in
And
the
then
middle,
him. That's
and
right.
Michael in the background. It's a
Yep.
really cool shot.
That's it.
And again, I love Dick. I mean, well, okay, hold on. I love Warlock. Dick Warlock. Let me finish this sentence. Woo, my girl was probably gonna text me and be like, "Wait, we gotta have a conversation. What the hell just happened?"
I love Dick. Oh,
I
wait a
love
minute.
Dick.
Hold on. See, if you had actually just followed through, it probably
I
wouldn't
know.
have. But the fact that you stopped, it made it
I
even
stopped.
funnier.
I know. His walk at times, he does get the castle walk down, and then at times he feels very robotic.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that sequence of him walking across the lawn, like here, like as he's creeping up on the house,
Yep.
he seems more relaxed. But when
Yep.
he was walking across the lawn, very
Yep.
kind of just stiff. He didn't have that glide. But then there's moments like when he's walking, when Jamie Lee's trying to open up the hospital doors and he's walking closer to her, he's got a bit of a glide in his walk. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
he's got that castle walk going. So it's like kind of hit and miss throughout this whole movie,
Mm-hmm.
where he's got the walk down and then at other times he doesn't.
Yep.
She's cute. I want another movie with Alice too. We're expanding the Halloween universe with new stories.
You want an Alice?
Isn't that her name? Alice, right?
I think it's Alice. Yeah, I think it's Alice.
Oh, I did not know that, Chester. Chester says that's Nancy Keys talking to Alice on the phone.
Oh, I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it was. That's true.
Interesting. I did not know that. That's cool.
And of course, when Myers leaps up from behind the couch, we see his eye. Now, it's the eye that's not fucked up. It's his right eye and not his left eye. But right there, it's like, oh, that's too bad. I don't want to see his eye. You don't need
The
to
only
see
thing
his
is,
eye.
I would say in the casting, one, it's unfortunate that Nick didn't reprise the role. I know, I guess from what I read, because I looked this up the other day. Because I did, in all fairness, I watched Halloween 2 on Saturday.
Nice.
Because I wanted to watch it by myself just to, where we're not talking over it and shit. And I was curious, like, why didn't Castle want to reprise the role?
He was never asked.
He was never asked, and he was also directing, but there was nothing that was, from what I seen on his IMDb, that would have been conflicting at this time for him to shoot the movies. Now, Carpenter said they wanted a stunt man because there were some stunts that they were going to have Myers doing this, like the firewalk. Like, okay, I get that. But when I watched it again and did my research, there's other than the balcony shot, the firewalk, and Myers crashing through the door, there's not a whole lot of stunts that, required you to recast the character or the guy, and everything else Nick could have easily have done it.
Sure. I could not agree more. It really, and this, it's just, in retrospect, looking back, and because of the sequels and the legacy that has been cemented with the franchise and Halloween,
do you think
all
the
that
franchise would be different had Nick done the whole run, like including 4, 5, and 6?
Maybe
4 definitely would have been different. 4 would have been big.
It would have been different, but if it was the same mask, I mean, not necessarily. I just think that, like, people often wonder, well, why didn't it? Because at that time, nobody gave a fuck. It wasn't until years later when you have the perspective to look at how, to look at all the sequels and how, and the different interpretations and the different masks and how important that first interpretation and that first mask really was. But you don't have that perspective in the moment in 1978 or in 1981. Nobody cared. It's just a guy walking around in a mask. They didn't realize how important this was going to become so many years later. They didn't realize that we were going to spawn a multi-million-dollar franchise becoming one of the most iconic characters in the history of horror cinema. They didn't realize that. It was just, here, throw this on, walk around. You know what I mean? And so that's why they weren't like, oh, we have to get Nick, because if we don't get Nick, no, they didn't know. They just like, well, we could just get anybody to do this, right? And now,
but if they did, it definitely would be the vibe of the franchise, especially 1, 2, and 4, would be very different for sure. If it was Nick Castle,
but I still think you got to go. I agree, but I still think you have to go one step further and make sure you got the right mask too.
For 4.
For 4, yeah.
Yeah, because as I say that. 2, the mask is fine.
Yeah,
well,
it's the same mask. Yeah, for 4, I mean. Woo! Reese Wilson sends in $7.99, says, we deserved a Dr. Mixter, Dr. Chalice buddy cop movie. Medical pal patients, a Halloween story. I love it. That could be one of the anthology films for, or one of the anthology stories on Haddonfield, the series. That's what I think.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I think. Dan something or other zone sends in $2, says, go Knowles. Knowles? Oh, that's you. Okay.
Seminoles.
Seminoles. Okay. All right. Antonis Andriotis sends in $15. Thank you, Antonis. Says, hey, Dave and Tony, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you, too. The best holiday and time of the year. So sad it's coming to a close. Did you guys eat candy tonight, or did you guys go anywhere? No, I didn't eat any candy. I didn't go anywhere. I just was busy doing voiceover this afternoon for season 2
I got a little
of
candy right here, but
Oh, nice. Yeah. No, I'm busy doing some voiceover for season 2 of a kid's show a kid's cartoon that I'm doing. So I was doing that today. And I just kind of another day, really, until we get to this point,
It doesn't end for me. Like, I can't wait till tomorrow, November 1st. Like, cause I know my Christmas friends.
Pause it.
What?
Oh, hang on.
What happened?
Hang on. Oh, now it's going again. Where are you right now?
The needle's about to go into the arm. The worst scene.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Sorry, it kind of froze on me, and then it kept going.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
But I don't stop with the horror on November 1st. In fact, I love trolling the shit out of my Christmas friends because I know they hate it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. There's Bud. Amazing Grace, come sit on my face. I almost got him to say the whole thing. I met him as well, Leo Rossi, at the 40th convention, and he didn't go all the way though. He was like, Amazing Grace, come sit on my, and then he kind of stopped, and I was like, I guess in his wise old age, he feels it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine. And who knows what I might do with it. I'll just dub it in. So I'll have him going, Amazing Grace, come sit on my face. It'll be my voice. I'll keep going, doctor. I'm just about there. What? The point where I stop taking orders from you. Oh, wait a minute. Why am I sounding like Loomis? Like, I totally believe that this is the same night. Don't you?
Yes.
But Brackett looks a lot older than 42. Unless we just look young for 43. I don't know. He looks like he could be in his... I don't know. He just looks older than his 40s. Like I said, he was 39.
I always
in the
forget
original.
that he's in this movie because once he sees Annie, that's it. He's done.
He's done. Yep. Did you put that thing away? Charles Cyphers. I'm telling you, this isn't a man! It's something else.
Have we ever figured out or established the time frame when all this was taking place? Because in Halloween, it feels like it's late at night, whereas this, kids are still trick-or-treating. So
Yeah,
I've never really figured out the time frame that all this is happening at because, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Based
I think
on
it's
like the way the
left
film is
open.
presented. Huh?
I think it's just kind of left open.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
So long, Ben Tramer.
Oh! Woo! A little bit of a continuity mistake because you see Ben Tramer fall and hit the hood of the police car, but then when they show him, he's up against the van. Is it him or not? I don't know. I have no idea. I just killed a fucking child. Oh no. And this is, there's Officer Hunt.
I believe it's Annie. Let's believe it's Annie.
3 kids.
Here comes.
See, one of them was Annie.
Was Annie?
Yeah, one of them was Annie.
What? That would be, you know what though? God, your heart would drop, man.
Especially, finding out it's your kid.
Fuck. I have no kids, but fuck, man.
So long, Ben. We didn't get to know you.
Yep.
Now we need a trilogy.
Take care, Ben.
We need a Ben Tramer trilogy.
Oh,
Justice
sweetie,
for
we're
Ben
playing
Tramer,
games. We do.
hashtag.
I love this. I love the guys like, I love this. Mental patient. What does he say? He's like, something. Well, people and cars. There's people here. There's cars here. Well, there's people and cars. Something the way he says that. It's always kind of. It's like the guy in the elementary school that's like, we got here, and here. Is that it?
We gotta
No,
watch.
over here.
We'll do it next year. But we gotta watch the TV cut of this.
Oh, we will. We're gonna watch it, guys. If you haven't seen the TV cut of Halloween 2,
Ooh. It's a trip. It's a trip.
it makes no fucking sense. It's
None.
like, what?
Oh, you got to be drunk just to understand that.
Oh
movie.
my God, do you ever? Do you ever? Look at this guy.
Jamie Lloyd's daddy.
Yeah, that's what people want to think.
Don't burst people's bubbles, Dave.
I
It's
know.
Jamie Lloyd's daddy.
I don't think these two would have ended up together. Well, he dies. He dies in this movie. Unless you watch the TV cut and then he sits up in the back, all
Dave,
creepy.
Dave, they had sex during the hospital sequence,
Now,
and
mind
that's
you-
when Lori got
Mind
pregnant.
you, we don't know if he's dead for sure. Maybe he just hit his head so hard he knocked himself unconscious. I don't know. Lance Guest. He's a creeper. Look at him fucking like trying to creep in on her. Get out, Mrs. Alves. She was at the 40th convention. Do you know that?
Really?
Yep. Nurse Alves. I believe that's her name.
cool.
She was there. It was cool. I didn't get a chance to say anything to her, but I saw her there. Or did I? No, I think I did. I think I actually did. I think I did talk to her. Yes, I did, because she told me to come back. Because she was some kind of thing I wanted to talk to her. She's like, come back at this time or whatever. And I came back. That's right. That's right. That was Dana Carvey. Here it comes. Here's the shot that was in Halloween Kills.
Connecting Halloween 2 to this new
It
run.
means it's canon. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yes, it does, Dave.
No. Although I will say, watch very closely for those of you that may not know. Just
she moves
before
her eyes.
she blinks her eyes. Hang on, wait for it. Wait for it. Right there. There it was. They should have cut
Split
before
second.
that. Just a split
That's
second.
all right.
It's there. Maybe it's just, some sort of.
She's not dead after all.
She's not dead. I want an Annie trilogy.
We want an Annie trilogy. Absolutely.
I gotta go calm.
Well, technically, she does get a trilogy, the actress, because she is in Halloween 3.
That's true. She is. That is true. She's the wonderfly charming and happy
Dr.
wife
Dan's-
of Dr. Chalice.
She's the reason why Tony don't want to get married.
That's that's
Yes,
right.
Yes. That's what scares Tony.
Bloody can't hang out.
This was a good speech. Is this a speech?
This is a great speech.
Yeah.
I realized there was neither conscience nor
Even
reason.
remotely human.
Yeah, it's a bit of a it's like a.
I'm talking about the real possibility that he's still out there.
And he's still out there. Yeah. It sort of recycles a bit of what he said in the first movie, but he packages a bit differently and, gets more of that point across again. And it's
Right.
properly motivated because he's talking to a different person. If he had been talking to Brackett, it would be like, why are we having this conversation again? Brackett already knows this. But he's talking to Officer Hunt, and Hunt probably doesn't know this. So at least it makes sense for the character to be recycling
Isn't
that
this
information.
Dick Warlock's kid with
This
the
is
boombox?
yes, this is Dick Warlock's son.
Very cool.
This is Dick. I like Dick. Wait.
Dick.
Wait.
I'm at 24, 58, 59. I don't know. Dave, what's your timestamp?
25, 03, 04, 05.
4 or 5. So
Yeah.
we're at the same time.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, the nurses are just getting into the car.
Yes. Can't you ask Eddie Lee? I want an Eddie Lee trilogy.
He's in Russellville. Hey, Charlie Bowles is in Russellville. I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit going,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of weird shit going
A
down
lot of weird stuff going on in Russellville.
Yeah, for sure.
We need a Russellville fucking trilogy.
We do.
Now, what was Warlock's kid doing? Just walking around in circles or something?
I don't know. I guess he was just, walking around in the 80s with a boombox on your shoulder was a very real thing.
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
So-
Yeah, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he just
And
was.
this is actually in the infancy
Scoping for
of
girls.
boom boxes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this is like the early 80s. So like boom boxes were just they called them something else.
Ghetto
There was
blasters.
Ghetto blasters. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
These were like just really starting to hit. So yeah, what he's doing
Yeah.
was very common, especially
Yep.
in the early 80s.
I had one. I've had a few in my life.
I got one right up there.
There you go. Ghetto blaster. I used to call it, I didn't call it a boombox though. I call it a ghetto
And I
blaster.
got another one over there that I never
Nice.
threw away.
I don't have mine anymore, but I wish I did.
I have a hard time letting go of things.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm kind of like that though too. I have a lot of shit.
Certain
that I probably
things, certain
shouldn't
things
have.
that I didn't want to get rid of, like my anything music related and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
This is great though too because
Oh, I got that sign right up behind
That's
me,
awesome.
behind Leatherface.
and it works. It works. See, look, he just looks like a regular man, right?
This-
And it works because it's Halloween. So nobody is really looking at him like, who's this weird guy walking
this
around in a
dude?
mask?
Right.
Because it's Halloween.
Halloween.
Everyone's entitled to one fucking girl.
If that were done today, people would have been stopping him saying, "Can I take a selfie?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, selfie. Probably. The hell's her name in this movie again?
Pretty nurse with boobs.
No, I can't remember her name
I
now.
don't know.
Karen?
Nurse with
Is it
boobs.
Karen? I know Janet's the younger one. It's like,
Oh, Janet,
Mr.
that's
Garrett.
that's
Mr.
my
Garrett.
favorite kill and the kill that I have a hard time watching.
look at his face. He's pissed.
Pissed. He's fucking pissed. He's like,
He's pissed.
this fucking walk was a pain in my ass.
Here it is. Here's that thing I was like,
Cars
Jam.
Oh, yeah.
repeating that
Uh,
these streets are Chestnut and
and-
10. They're just jammed with both people
I like that. He's like, it's jammed here with people and cars and
It was like 10
chestnut
people there.
and well, it's jammed with people and cars. And it's just the way he restructures the set. I don't know. It always read funny to me, or sounded funny. Yeah, well, your friend Julie's a fucking idiot.
I like this shot of Michael walking across the grass.
Yep,
The hospital.
for sure. There he is, Mr. Garrett.
Nowadays, it would be very difficult to get away with it because of the way technology is. But back then, this was very believable because security cameras weren't the best in the early 80s. I mean, they were obviously decent, for what you're seeing there, but and they weren't all over the place. So he could really, in theory, he could maneuver around a hospital like this and not get caught.
For sure.
You know,
Frank's like,
today,
Nurse Karen, damn it. Sorry, Frank. That's right, Nurse Karen. I got it right.
But today you couldn't do that with all the security cameras. And no way.
I walk out my door, they can see me from space. I swear yesterday.
Julie's full of shit. He didn't escape till last night.
Oh, I thought he said, he says, well, Julie's a fucking idiot. He says, okay, well,
Something
Julie's
like
full
that.
of shit. I think you're right. I think, your friend's full of shit. Or Julie's full of shit. Julie said, yeah, you're right.
Julie's full of shit.
Julie's full of shit. I thought he said fucking idiot, but God, that was a little harsh, Dave. You're right. But you don't have to swear.
She's a goddamn moron. That's what he says.
I know. Every other word from you is either shit, hell, or damn. Sorry.
I just fuck up.
all the time. Yeah, that's great.
Gotta love
Good
Bud.
old Bud.
Good old Bud.
It's a good moment because we clearly established the kind of character Bud is, and we clearly established the kind of character that Janet is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like I was saying, her death is probably my favorite in the franchise, and it's the one that I have a hard time watching the most because anything near the temple, like, no, I can't.
I love that kill.
That gives me goosebumps.
Are you going to recreate that kill?
I would.
Could you?
I gotta figure out how I'm going to do it, and I got to find the right girl that has that kind of Janet type look.
My apologies to. I hope they're still watching. There was a super chat earlier when you went to go to the washroom that asked where you find your models for your shoots.
They're just my friends.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. They're just friends that I've met, and their boyfriends usually help out. Like if I've been fortunate enough with a couple of the guys who are big enough to be Leatherface for me,
right?
And Michael tends to be the girl's boyfriend or myself,
right?
And then I got a friend of mine who does Freddy for me now because I'm way too big to be Freddy. Not fat big, just bulkier. Like I put on a lot of mass this year. So yeah, no, it's just friends. Models. I tried that once, and it was not a fun experience. She was, how do I put this politely? Prissy.
I was going to say a bit of a drama queen.
Not drama queen, but prissy, like making sure everything looked right and looked perfect. I'm like, you realize we're trying to recreate a horror scene.
You realize this isn't for your fucking TikTok, right?
You're supposed to look like you're going through some shit. Nothing's supposed to look perfect.
Can you shoot me from this angle while I pucker my lips?
But
no, sit down and get dirty.
But I'm excited because my girl's daughter, she's 13 and she's coming of age. Like when she gets a couple more years older and she's a pretty girl, she's gonna be fun, and she's into like this shit like we are.
Nice.
Yeah, so like getting her and her friends and shit like that involved in this will be a lot of fun to do.
Now here's a continuity error you'll notice in a moment that I noticed years ago that maybe you didn't. It's not a big deal. I'm not saying it's a big deal. It's just something I happen to notice. So if you look through the window, you can see Michael back there staring. You can actually see him.
Yeah.
And you'll watch this. So he's just there. He's watching. Keep an eye on Michael. So now the camera is looking. Camera's looking. The POV. There's Michael. Now he's walking away, right? He's walking away. And then it cuts here. And then the camera moves and walks away. Just a few seconds kind of behind the actual sort of
POV walking. Yeah.
Michael left before the POV actually left. It's not a big deal. It's just something I noticed years ago when I was a kid.
And this is where Jimmy and Lori get it on and impregnate her so that she has Jamie.
Yes, that's right. Wild,
it's
wild,
a
hot.
Scene.
Totally. Well, it was so X-rated. They had to remove
They
it.
had to remove it.
But it's in the TV cut. So we'll
The batshit crazy TV cut.
That's right. That little kid that killed his sister? This is a cool moment. Like, I've always liked that moment where Jimmy is sort of filling in Lori with some, because this is the first time that she knows who was that attacked me? Like, what the fuck is going on, right? So she's beginning to kind of, and obviously they know at this point, because the story's been written, that we're all leading towards the discovery that she's his sister. But you don't, the why me? Why me? And again, you don't even need to take that out. If you took out the sister stuff, you don't even need to take that out, because that is a question. Why me? Right?
Yeah,
leave it ambiguous. Right.
What did I do?
Right. There is no rhyme or reason. Leave it ambiguous. Just let that sit with the audience.
He never should have went down the sister road. You know what I mean?
No, he didn't have to. And I've said
really
it.
Didn't.
No.
And you could still do Halloween 4 the same way. You just make Rachel and Jamie sisters. Not stepsisters,
right?
And whatever, Jamie's having nightmares of a boogeyman,
right?
You know what I mean? Like that's not uncommon for little kids to have a nightmare of a boogeyman, and that's who Michael's supposed. That's what Michael's supposed to be. The only thing you would have to do is you'd have to change Jamie's character a little bit, like maybe have her dress up at school instead of the kids teasing her the way they did,
right?
Well, some few dialogue changes, and that's really it,
right? Yep. Yeah. There's no mention of Lori at all. And Jamie's not her niece or her daughter or anything.
No.
I get why people like it though. Like, it gives them motivation. It makes it helps. It gives it reason, but you don't need, now mind you.
It does, but I kind of like the obsession idea that maybe he does become obsessed with her. It's a desire for Michael. It's that kill that he needs to have, and he's not getting it.
That's
like
right.
Trying to quench that thirst.
Right.
That he
that's his motivation. That's not, but that's not, and that still keeps intact. But it's not a motive, right?
Right.
There's nothing. He's not going after her because she owed him money, or needs to kill her so he can cash in on the life insurance policy. I mean, there's no motive in that sense, right? There is no reason for him doing what he's doing. It's just he's just a force. It just is. It's like the wind, right? Like, Carpenter said,
she's
the wind,
like the wind.
Yeah. Well, the wind doesn't knock down your house because the wind doesn't like you. Yeah. It's completely,
no, look, I
void
get
of
why
all
people
that.
like
It's
the brother
just
sister
is.
angle. I get it. It's been embedded into us for so many years. But
for sure,
if he went without it, it would have been fine.
Yep.
No
and
harm,
you could.
foul.
I was saying while you were in the bathroom, you changed the dream sequence to Lori having a dream from earlier that night. Like, maybe she has a dream about her in the closet, right? And being attacked by
maybe
Michael.
Another cut that they didn't use, something like that.
Right. You just change the dream to that, and then you change the conversation in the back of the marshal's car. Instead of Marion talking about Lori being his sister, she just talks more about Michael. Like, you just give a little more insight into him or something, and that's it. Yeah. Because we never see Lori discover that she's the sister. Like, even in the back, like, we don't know. Did Lori, I mean, obviously if you continue on with the series, but we never actually see her discover that. So you don't need it. Here comes a classic
I agree
horror
with what you were
jump
saying about this sequence here. I mean, it's a decent jump scare. I remember this jump scare being part.
I don't
of
mind this stuff.
Part of a commercial montage for AMC in October back in the day. Do you remember that? Like, back in the day in like the 90s, AMC would have like do a cut montage, and this sequence or that shot of the security guard jumping back from the cat jumping at him would be in that montage of different horror movies they were going to show over the course of the month. For sure. I like, again, up to this point, I don't mind. I think this is dragged a little bit.
It drags, and I think part of the reason is that there is no music. I've said many times on this channel, that I mean, whether you use, using music can help, and sometimes the best thing for a scene or a sequence in a horror movie is no music, but it's not arbitrary. Like, it depends on a number of factors, and sometimes it's a combination. Sometimes the scene will begin with no music, but then music will come in, or sometimes the music will start, the scene will start with a piece of music, but then it will, fade out, and now it's all quiet, or, whatever. I think that this is a scene that needed music. At least maybe half of the scene did. Because I think without it, it feels just a little draggy. And music would help this scene a lot. I don't
Maybe
think
just
this
the
is a whole
subtle-
sequence
the Laurie theme or the Myers theme, subtlety of it.
Yeah, just something. I think it's not like the entire sequence has no music. And I think I get what they were going for, because the second he closes the door, Michael's there and you hear, and he hits him on the head with the hammer. But I just think you needed a little something here. I think
Showing you the bad height difference and how short Dick Warlock is.
Yeah, I just think I think it's just not the right scene to have no music through the whole thing. Like maybe right here when he hears the sound, like maybe there's no music up to this point. Okay, you're trying to build some tension. Okay, and then this right here, now maybe start some music now. Right? Because it's been triggered by the sound that he hears. And I don't mean like, the Halloween theme or anything that is loud and bombastic, just a little, maybe a ding, 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 ding.
Something subtle.
Yeah.
Because this is too long without any music.
Right. Just something like that.
Going with ambient.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe the cowbell, right? Ding, ding. Something that just kind of gives a little bit of,
More
okay.
cowbell.
Okay.
You need some more cowbell.
Something.
Mr. Garrett! Mr. Garrett!
Yeah, this scene, unfortunately, I've always felt never did Michael any justice, because it really just shows you how short Dick Warlock is.
Well, he looks like he's about the same height as this guy, right?
Shorter. I mean,
he's
got to go up. If you look at it closely,
okay.
He's got to go up to reach the forehead.
Okay.
And this guy doesn't look like he's a tall guy.
No.
But if you look
Dick
at
Warlock is only like 5'9". I mean, he's
Oh, yeah.
in lifts in this movie. You can see them.
And it don't help.
Yeah. Well, it probably puts him at around 5'10" or 11, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows how tall this big guy was?
Watch very closely.
Yep.
Because I think this is
Yeah, this is it. Here it comes. Yeah, I see.
what I mean?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
The guy looks taller than Michael, and I'm like, that you could have angled that one a little bit better.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Mr. Garrett!
Why would you stand there taking that? He's obviously not listening to you. Get the fuck out of there, Janet.
Yeah, my sister being a nurse, I often asked her about this scene, and she said that nurses wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Oh, hey! It's
there's our
Hendrix from
buddy!
Jaws.
Yep.
It's Hendrix from Jaws.
He retired from Amityville because he wanted to be a dentist in the Midwest, where it was a quiet little town.
Yep. And then shit happens. I know. And it's 1978. It's just after the events of Jaws 2.
That's right.
He just moved. How long after?
And now he's dealing with this shit.
Wait, though. How long after Jaws 2, or how long in the canon?
Jaws is 75. 2 is what, 77?
No, 2 is 78. So that's 3 years. But in the actual story, is it 3 years or is it 5 years? Because Michael and Sean look a lot older.
A lot older, yeah.
So maybe it's 5 years. Maybe it's like 1980 or something. I don't know. I think they say, but I can't remember.
That's true, because Michael's probably what, like 30? Well, not necessarily true.
No, Michael was like
probably
17 or something.
In 2, and I think he's like 13 in the first one. Like,
yeah.
Like
12
or
13.
Teens.
I think it's like 4 or 5 years later. And Sean looks like he's like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And he's a baby pretty much in the first one.
That's what I'm talking about. He looks like he's like 4, 3 or 4. So maybe he's like 9 or something, or 10 in part 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shamrock Ball says Jaws is 78. It's supposed to be 4 years. Jaws was set in 74.
Okay.
Jaws was set in 74, was it? I know it was shot in 74. Was it set in 74? Now, the novel, I think, might have been. Do they say it's set in 74 in the movie?
Heightens my sense of security.
Heightens my sense of security.
I concur with Loomis on that one.
Totally. And this is the last time we see the Myers house in this fucking series, is right here. Well, until you see it again in Kills.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. This is the last time until kills
Yep.
that we see this house.
Yep, because every other Halloween, every other movie had a fucking and the next time we see it, it's a total disaster. It's Halloween 5.
It's a shit show.
It's we've
First
always
of all, the house is great.
I was just gonna
not
say.
Myers.
I was just going to say, we've often said that the house in Halloween 5 is spectacular. It is an amazing house.
Yeah.
But what the fuck is it doing in this movie? It's not the Myers house.
No.
It's not even close. It's not even something you would remodel. You wouldn't like.
No.
I can't even believe
Well,
that.
okay,
it was,
the six.
I know,
looks
but
like it's remodeled.
It does, but I was just going to say that I can't even believe that the Myers house was remodeled from this house into the one in 5. But
Right.
the Myers house in 6, I can go, yeah, okay, sure.
It looks remodeled.
Yeah, maybe it is the same house. It's crazy. Look at us getting all sweaty.
Another good speech.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. In many ways, he didn't
He was
talk,
the
he didn't cry, he
ideal
didn't even
perfect
move.
patient.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it. Like it adds a bit of extra, right?
Little color commentary.
Yeah. Like you get all this, it's implied that this would be likely from a speech in the first movie, but it's nice. It's nice to have it. It's good stuff. 17 and wearing a mask. Fuck, I just killed somebody at 17. Well, Dr. Loomis could be charged. He ran after that kid. But why was Ben Tramer running? That's what I want to know.
Ooh.
Why
Was he carrying candy in the bag? Or maybe he was carrying some weed.
Why was Ben Tramer running? I mean, what would be the point of him running?
Interesting.
What sort of rap sheet does Tramer have? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. I have fond memories of Halloween 2. It wasn't the first time I saw the movie, but when I was 15 years old, I was in the hospital for about 12 days because I got chickenpox late in life. I didn't get it when I was a kid when I should have got it.
As a teenager?
I got it at 15. And
That had to suck.
yeah, well, it did because, and it's also worse for you. And I
That
actually,
shit can almost kill you.
well, I developed, I'm sure I've told you this. I developed encephalitis and I had a seizure.
Is this where your dad discovered you like unconscious or something?
Well, not unconscious. Now, I don't remember anything. I just remember watching America's Funniest Home videos on my couch. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up in the hospital 2 days later. And my dad said that I had a seizure. They called the ambulance. They called everybody. I was strapped to the gurney, not the gurney, but the stretcher. I'm put in the ambulance. It was a whole ordeal. They didn't even know if I was going to live. And with encephalitis, of course, it attacks your brain. My brain swelled. They put me into a medically induced coma. Thankfully, I survived. Thankfully. But I remember while I was in the hospital and I was in isolation, which was really cool because I had my own room and TV and all that kind of stuff. And, you're 15, so there's kind of like a cool thing about it. And, but I remember my mom, to make me feel better, brought me a gift, and it was Halloween 2 on VHS. And so the nurses wheeled in a TV with a VCR, and my dad stayed one night because it was in January. It was January 1995. And so it gets darker earlier, right? So my dad stayed, and we watched my dad had never seen it. We watched Halloween 2 in the hospital when there's like hardly anybody around because I'm in like a ward in a wing where it's like, isolation. So
Isolated.
it's not like there's lots of people around, and it's dimly lit and we're watching. My dad loved it. He was like, this was great because you're in a hospital watching Halloween 2. It was amazing. It was so much fun. One of my fond memories with my father. And thankfully I survived.
Yeah, otherwise this would be a really weird conversation that I'm having right now.
Yes. Well, I'm actually not real. I'm actually a ghost. I'm an
This
apparition.
would be some fucked up shit.
It was crazy though. And I had to go back for EEGs or EKGs or whatever it is, to get the brain scans, all that. But I was approved about 3 months later, and I went back. I rejoined my hockey team, and I scored the winning goal to send us into the playoffs. So I was like, wow.
Nice.
But
yeah, I agree with you here with this dream sequence. You totally could have had flashbacks of
Yes.
like, her attack.
yes,
Yep.
yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't need
You
to
could
do all
totally,
this. Yep.
totally. Now, I mean, for the story they're telling, this
It works.
totally
Yeah.
works. But you could change this dream to just and add like the haze over it. She's being attacked in the closet. Maybe she's seeing her friend smiling. She's, you know what I mean?
Michael walking across the street.
Yeah,
towards
yeah,
her.
exactly. And there you go.
There you go.
Casper's
Now she's gonna
Ashes
pass
says,
out.
I always knew Dave was a ghost. I am.
I'm sitting here having a one-sided conversation, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not real.
I need help.
I'm not real.
All right.
Hey, Frank Riker. Shout out to Frank Riker. This is Frank Riker's big moment here, ladies and gentlemen.
The Karen's boobs.
Yeah, this is Frank's big moment. This is Frank in the hot tub right here.
Ooh. Whose boobs are better, Kelly Meeker's or Nurse Karen's?
Oh, God. I think her breasts look fake, personally. I don't know.
Meeker's?
No. Karen here. There's something about them that just look fake to me, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Frank's like, yes. Yeah, this is Frank always talks about the hot tub. If Frank,
I would love to recreate.
wait, is this
scene.
is this the only Halloween
In a
movie where
photo.
there's a hot tub?
Those are nice boobs. I like them.
They just look fake to me. That's all.
That's okay. I still like them. If they're fake for 1981, they did a really good job because, at the time, they weren't really great with plastic
Now,
surgery.
apparently, the water is quite cold. Both Leo and
Frank's like, don't make me choose, Tony. No, it's a tough decision. Kelly Meeker or Nurse Karen? Which
hey,
boobs
Frank,
better?
are you ever going to get a Nurse Karen cardboard cutout to put behind you because you already have a Loomis, a Meeker.
Yeah, you need that, dude.
I think you got to
But
do it.
If you're
His
gonna
wife
do
probably
it,
won't
Frank,
allow
it's got to be the hot tub scene. If you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
Can't be
Oh
anything
God.
but-
Oh, Frank.
Yeah.
Tommy Ricknell sends in €5. Thank you, Tommy. Says, wonder if Warlock's boots with the heels insert forced him to walk the way he did. I've tried myself since I'm 174 centimeters. Oh, so you're like just a smidgy taller than me. I'm 5'8". I think that's about 173, and it's very unstable. Yeah, it depends. It can be if you're putting in like lift inserts and you're not used to it. It can be. Of course, now they make actual ask Tom Cruise. They make proper elevator. Ask Tom Cruise and Sylvester Stallone, who wear elevator shoes. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Because Tom Cruise is shorter than you.
He's like 5'7", 5'7" and a half.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone's like 5'8" or 9".
He's around
He's
our,
not.
yeah, he's around
He's
our
not
height.
tall. But you see him in photos next to certain actors who you know are like 6 feet, and you're like, "Come on, Sly, come on." Years ago, when I was doing on-camera acting, before I fell into the voiceover side, I was doing a commercial, and the makeup artist that was putting the makeup on my face, she had just done work on the Sylvester Stallone movie from 2001. Was it Drive? No, that's Ryan Gosling. I think it's Driven or something. It's a race car film.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we were having a conversation, and she's like, Sylvester Stallone's quite short. He's not as tall as you'd think. He's like your height. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no. And she's like, yes. I'm like, no. And she's like, yes. I mean, she just worked with him. So I'm like, oh my God.
I would love to recreate this shot in a photo.
You should.
The hot
That's an
tub
easy
kill.
shot to do. And you don't have to worry about nudity because you can, the hot tub
keep-
kill. The hot tub
Like
kill. I
actually
see.
dunking the girl in and bringing her
well,
up.
I mean,
like
if
doing
you
it doing it in a two-shot sequence.
Yeah.
Her going in and then coming out.
Yeah.
The problem is that if I were to recreate it the way it should be, I have to on the going in part. I don't have to show it. It's
Right.
the coming out part. I would have to show it.
Right. Cody Snyder says Driven. That's it. Yeah. I forget the commercial now, but I was in the makeup chair and we were chatting as you get to do when you are in that situation. And she was like, I was like, wow.
Rosalita's like, in bed, it doesn't matter how tall a guy is. No, but it does matter how tall a girl is, because if a girl is too tall, like taller than me, like if I'm barely just scratching under 5'10", and if she were 6 foot, that's it can get awkward.
Yeah.
If
This
you're
is a
too
great,
tall.
you know what? I got to agree with you, Tony, though. This is
I
a
would
great
love, like
kill.
that shot dunking
That's
in.
look at the way it's lit too. The way he looks there. Look at the way he looks. I love the way Myers looks in that shot of him taking her out and he's just like staring and stuff. Oh, it's so great. Oh, here it is. Oh, he broke in here.
Sam Ween, whatever it's pronounced.
Sal Wayne.
And here.
And here. And here.
Sister.
Is that it?
No. Here.
Here.
Here. And here. Is that it? No, here. Yeah, but that hot tub.
Here's the thing I don't get in the
kill is
storytelling.
great.
You know, Michael's still out there on the loose. Why would you want to bring Dr. Loomis back? Shouldn't Loomis be out there on the hunt with these guys? He knows what Michael looks like. He knows what Michael's wearing. So it's like this never made any sense to me why they would need to bring him out of the equation.
I've always interpreted it as that Loomis is a bit eccentric and that they feel that because he is the patient, maybe there's legalities around it. Like if he does something that interferes with the investigation or like maybe he's too close to the patient or something. Like I've always kind of seen it like because he's being ordered to come back, basically saying, let the authorities take care of it. But they
don't know what to look for. He does.
No, I know. I get it. Yeah. But that's kind of how I've always justified it in my head. I want a trilogy with the cleaner, the janitor in the back here.
Absolutely.
I want to know his story. What's his fucking story?
What's his deal?
Yeah, what's his deal?
Maybe he was helping Michael. Maybe he let him into the school.
Somebody needs to find him so he can go to a convention and sign autographs.
Janitor of Halloween 2.
Dude, can you imagine? The crazy thing is,
fans would get his autograph.
Yes, somebody would. I'm telling you right now, somebody would totally. If that guy, whoever he is, if he's still alive, was at conventions and he had like photos of his blurry ass in the background, he'd be signing. He'd be signing shit like to Dave, clean away, Rob. To Dave, those floors looked as clean and polished as Loomis's head. Rob, I don't know.
Some shit like that. That's a cool shot through the security camera.
Yeah, that's cool. Definitely. Oh yeah, this is where he discovers that she's had an allergic reaction to the medication. Now, again, the hot tub scene, one of the best kills in this movie, hands down, but I think the best one, and it's not necessarily, it's not the kill itself necessarily, it's the lead up to it, because it's one of the most Halloween 1 moments in this movie. The way that Nurse Janet backs, I don't know if is she a nurse or she's
a nurse.
Is she a nurse?
Yeah.
Is she a nurse? She's an assistant maybe. Anyway, the way she backs up and Michael,
She could be an LP, like an LPN, like there's an RN and there's an LPN.
Yeah. But the way that Michael's face emerges in red too from the darkness, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. So that, and now then he grabs her and puts the needle in her temple, which for some people obviously is gonna be like, oh my God, the kill is pretty, it's not like, I think the hot tub kill itself.
It's my favorite kill, and it's the one that I have a hard time with the most.
I get you. I think the hot tub kill, like the actual kill, the hot tub kill is probably the best kill in the movie. But the lead up, like the pre-show before the kill, I think is this. It doesn't last long, but it's what Michael does. It's his MO. That's what he does. He lurks in the shadows and he waits for you, and then he slowly emerges like a cat, like a predator,
It's about one of the only, there's a couple times in this movie where the mask looks like the mask from this scene. And then when he's walking later on to Laurie.
Yes. Across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's about it. It's about the only 2 times in the movie where it looks like the
like pretty
OG.
bang on. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the VHS version, you actually don't see the doctor on the left there because obviously the frame's been cropped.
Frames. Right.
Yeah, 4:3. But when widescreen became a thing on DVDs, I was like, oh my God, you can actually see him.
See him. Yeah.
Here it comes. This is so great. Now look at this. Look at this. Right. Oh! Yes!
Myers
That's
as it
what
can
I'm
get.
talking about. Come on, man. It's actually a little less red than I remember. Maybe I'm thinking about the end of the movie. But that's so good. And the kill is great too. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the predator. That's the cat. That's the lurking.
just
That's the
anything-
shadows, you know?
Anything in near the temple for me, I can't. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
It's so great. Like, that's why I
there's
wish.
the head tilt.
Yep. Yes. Yes. It's a great head tilt. It's a great head tilt. So nerdy. But that's why I wish in Halloween 18, when Vicky opened the closet, it was dark and she went to turn on the light. Like, instead of opening the closet door, Julian said, hey, can you turn on the light for me? And it doesn't work. And then she's like, hey, do your parents have like a light bulb or whatever? And then you see him kind of emerge from the darkness of the closet. Oh, fuck. Would have loved that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I agree.
It works as is. It's just different. Yeah, I fucking love that shot. It's my favorite. Like, it's just great. What's this nurse's name again? Fucking forget. Barbie?
I forget.
Love
Oh,
that
she
shot
gets-
too.
she-
Like,
She gets a thumb up the butt later on.
yeah, she does. She does. Look at this. It's creepy, man. It's a dead. Like, would a hospital really be that? I don't know, because, you know, I used to live in a small town north of Toronto, and they had a little, you know, hospital there. And I went over there a few times for, you know, various reasons or whatever.
Was it that dead?
Not like that, but it wasn't like a city hospital, you know, where it's like bustling. You know what I mean? So
I guess you'd have to like go to a real small town out in the middle of nowhere where they can treat people enough that doesn't require them like big time medical care.
Yeah.
Like Lori's injuries in this case really, you know, fractured her foot, got a cut, you know,
Right.
that could be stitched up. I guess I don't know if it would be this quiet.
yeah,
with
but it depends,
lights,
right?
with
Like,
lights off. Well, maybe the floor would be that she's on.
because
The
I was just going to
recovery
say,
floor.
because we're seeing a certain section.
Right.
Maybe if you were to get in the elevator and go up to another floor, there'd
It's
be a lot more
popping.
people. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the recovery wing or something. I don't know. So that's why it's quiet. They don't want to make it, you know, it's supposed to be quiet because the patients are
people
sleeping and, you know.
Yeah.
Because when I was in, like, I was at a city hospital, but I was in the not the ICU, but well, I guess sort of. Not ICU, but isolation. And I had my own thing kind of down. And I remember getting up at night, looking out at the nurses' station, and it was quiet, and it was kind of not dimly lit, but kind of dimly lit, and wasn't a lot
Not
because
like this where it's just dark in certain hallways and stuff.
not like
you know?
that, no. But then again, I was like, I mean, I was like very sick, right? I was in a wing where there were very sick patients, so they're not going to have like, you know, loud things going on. Oh, look, it's the rotary phone that's not a rotary phone. We had a phone like that too. Like, it's the design of the rotary phone, but there's no like,
Yeah.
it's
Push
just
button.
the buttons. Yeah, it's just the buttons. It's creepy, man. Michael walking down the halls. My dad loved this shit. Seeing him just walk down the
some of the
hall.
establishing shots in here
Yeah.
are really fucking great.
So
It's
good.
just it's too bad. It's too bad it wasn't Nick. I'd be curious to see what Nick would have done with these scenes.
Yeah. Yep,
you
totally.
know?
I'm still waiting for somebody to deep fake the original. And I don't mean in a photograph. I mean to deep fake the original Myers mask on George P. Wilbur in Halloween 4. Now, I know to do it through the whole movie would be probably a really tedious process, but just take the dream sequence that Jamie has that lasts, what, I don't know, 2 minutes or whatever. Take that and fucking deep fake that shit the way that they deep faked Harrison Ford's face on Solo in the Solo movie. You can like just YouTube, you know, Harrison Ford face Solo. It's fucking wild. It looks like Ford is in the now it doesn't sound like Ford, but it looks like he's in the movie. It's fucking like a young Han, so it looks fucking amazing. I'm waiting for now. Maybe it's more difficult to do with a mask, but I'm like, fuck, dude, somebody do it. I've seen people try to Photoshop it, but
yeah, I think you need kind of a clean cut of that mask to lay over. I would think. I don't know how deepfake works.
I don't know either. But whoever did that, whoever is the genius that did that, or these geniuses that do this deep fake shit, try it. Just please, for the love of cake, do it. Do it. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like the dialogue.
Yeah,
here,
it does feel like the cops are kind of like, we don't know what to do without you.
We don't know what to do. Like, so then why would Loomis be leaving? That's the only part of this. I'd be like, really? This is what we're going to do? Like, this is the story we're going to tell now? Like, they don't know where to look. They don't know what he looks like. Only Loomis does. So it's like, okay.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get it. What's this from? Haunting Han. Goddamn blithering Nazi pig.
That's from Exorcist.
It's from The Exorcist. That's right. That actor died before the movie was even released.
I know.
It's crazy.
Curse of that movie, man.
Dude, we got to watch Legion, Exorcist 3. It's fucking great.
I just watched that not too long ago.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, such a great movie. It's too bad it wasn't just it got The Exorcist. It's not. It's fucking great.
Well, it's such a good movie that it really shouldn't even be an Exorcist movie because I think like with Halloween Ends is like if it wasn't a concluding story to Michael, it is a good standalone film that by the time The Exorcist 3 gets to the end, they're like, oh shit, we need to do an Exorcist.
Well, to be fair though, to be fair, they do kind of acknowledge the McNeil, exorcism, and like it is connected, like it is a sequel, but it's part of Blatty's Faith trilogy. Because there was a movie from the early 80s called, there was another film that there's The Exorcist, and then there's The Exorcist 2, The Heretic, which is dog shit. But then there's a movie that came out in the early 80s, which is a direct sequel to The Exorcist, but it's not called The Exorcist 2, but it's part of Blatty's Faith trilogy. And then there's Legion, which is The Exorcist 3, but it's really a sequel to the one from the early 80s that isn't The Exorcist. But it's all it's all connected. They're just different.
Yeah, no, I know.
Anyway, yeah, it's fucking great. Like to me, it's the true sequel to The Exorcist.
Part 3.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's fucking great. If you guys haven't seen Legion, which is what the name of the book was and what the name of the movie was until Morgan Creek said, no, we got to change it to The Exorcist 3. It's like, fuck. It's great.
Yeah, we got to do that one night.
Yes. Because I just watched it. I'd seen it years ago, but I haven't, but I watched it again recently. I'm like, this is fucking great.
Then we got David Gordon Green about to put his fingers all over that fucking franchise.
We'll see, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Can't wait. Totally excited. I have all the confidence in the world.
Is there music here? Yeah, that's right. There is. Oh yeah, this is where Jibby finds.
He's gonna tell a love story.
Now we never actually see this death happen, which is kind of cool. Like just to kind of stumble upon this and see that her blood's being drained out. So Michael actually knows how to drain blood out of a body. Absolutely. That's like a step up. That's something that we don't actually talk about a lot when you think about it. Like I wouldn't know the first thing about how to do that. How the fuck does he know? He just does. Watch this epic slip. And this is where he hits his head. And he's never the same again.
No.
And I think he hit. Do you think he died in the car or do you think he just went unconscious again?
Could be a concussion. Because it is a head. I mean, smacking your head like that. I mean, people have died.
Oh, yes, for sure.
I mean,
a
blunt force trauma like that.
Yeah,
that's not uncommon.
It's true. I just wonder if, I wonder if.
And he smacks it pretty hard. So it's either he's dead or he's got a concussion.
Because he gets in the car. It's like he doesn't even know who Laurie, Jimmy, and he's just like,
yeah, I gotta crank.
Yeah. I've always assumed that he died, but.
And Michael's a mechanic and he knows how to disable cars.
Yep. Well, he punctured all the tires too, I think. He punctured the tires with his scalpel. Ooh.
What's going on there?
crazy. Haddonfield Memorial. Because he didn't just do her car. He did like
All of them.
all of them.
But
Yeah.
I wonder if he did the ambulance. She could have taken the ambulance.
Yeah, if she had the keys.
It's true.
Got to get the keys. The keys.
The keys.
Oh, the keys.
Oh,
There's
there's
Lori.
Lori again. I keep forgetting she's in this movie.
Lori's kind of not like Halloween Kills level, but she's kind of sidelined in this movie a little bit.
She is, which is fine because Michael's
fine.
presence. You know,
Right.
Michael's more present in this.
Well, and
film.
you know that he's searching for her.
right?
So she's
So,
you
It's
know
a
what
cat-
is
that kind of a
right.
cat and mouse game that they're playing here.
Right.
So
right.
she can be sidelined. I mean, it's fine, you know,
Yeah.
because at this point you're like, you want to see Michael. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
That's right.
That's right, everybody.
This is where this is where it happens. This is where the big chase begins.
Yeah, because the nurse is about to get it up the butt.
Yeah. That's right.
This is where the big chase is about to begin.
Lori.
Lori!
Wait, Lori.
She's like, nah, bitch, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Wait, Lori.
Wait, Lori.
Oh.
Finger in the butt. I mean, she reacts like it.
Yeah. But it's great to see that strength again. You know what I mean?
One-handed, picking her
Yeah.
up with a.
And I gotta say,
operation knife.
I like this
And then-
rendition of the shape of
So
the
do I.
shape stock.
Shape stocks, absolutely. That added little backbeat, steady beat going on. I like that.
For sure. It's great. It's great. And I love the way that these hallways are lit, having the actors, you know, run into the light, out of the light, using that shadow. We
I
see
wonder
them,
if
but then
a
they
lot of that was
disappear.
just more organic lighting and not studio lighting.
Well, it probably is available lighting that they're using within the hallways, but they would have set it up like that, right? Like they would have actually, okay, we'll have this light on here, we'll turn this light on. They probably had some lights in the hallway in rooms shining into the hallway, so she could kind of, you know, go into the light and out of the light.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is a good chase scene. I do like this. It's still, I know what the outcome is, but the way
It's a good
they
chase
build the way they build the suspense with the music and Michael closing in on her and her, you know, frantically trying to open up the elevator.
Yeah.
I like it. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yep, same. Oh, there he is. Look at that wig. It's a rough wig.
It's rough.
It's rough.
I mean, I get it. She cut her hair, so
Yeah, she did.
You know, it is what it is. She can't do anything about.
Yeah. This is great though. Like seeing Michael.
I mean, they could have maybe, you know, put a little effort into the wig.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
instead of like going to like Kmart and buying it.
Yeah, they just needed to have it a bit not so like out on the sides.
Yeah.
Just needed a better wig.
Let alone her hair would be pretty roughed up, given the fact that she
Yeah.
just
Ooh.
went through what she went through.
I assume that was a stunt double. Not,
Got to be a stunt double. Well, maybe Jamie Lee took the job.
maybe she did. I doubt it. But
I doubt it too.
so how does Michael go through that little window? Does he?
Good question. I don't. Yeah.
How does
Well,
he
yeah, because
access this area?
you hear the drop.
You do?
You do hear. Yeah. Pay. Like, I'll be quiet. Yeah. There it is. It just happened.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's really cool. So he did go through. Oh, I didn't know that. So he did go through. But you see, we don't need to see that, right? We don't need to see it. We don't need to see him struggling to get through a fucking window. We just know that he does. And
See, I love this,
that's
man.
How you,
It's like
that's how you
the
do it.
elevator's on 2,
Yeah.
then 1.
It's
one of my
forever.
favorite suspenseful scenes
sure.
in this franchise.
For sure. Yes. It's like, no, come on. Imagine he just started like sprinting. That'd be fucking freaky. No, it's great. It's a very, and
Like,
of course,
is he gonna get? And then like he's got his
Yeah.
hand there,
Yeah.
and you know he could have opened the door.
yes.
He totally could have
Yeah.
opened this door.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
with
he's
the
like,
strength he's got.
nah, I'll
I'll-
let you live.
I'd rather
I'll
chase
let you
you across a
live.
parking lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
This is foreplay for me.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
He wants to preserve this kill. He wants to make it count.
This is great. When he steps out, though, from behind that building, and there's that red light on him, and he starts walking across the parking lot, and there's that split lighting on his face. Is oh my god!
It's the only other time the mask looks like the original mask.
Yeah,
well, even though it is the original mask.
Right. Yeah, I get you. It's fucking great.
Fucking Deborah Hill and her cigarettes.
Yeah.
I can't believe it was just cigarettes that did that to the mask, but
I don't know.
She says. I mean, I believe if it's stuffed underneath her bed and I guess.
Well, if you smoke, I don't know how often, how much of a smoker she was, but obviously smoke can yellow walls and things like that. That's so gross. Get that. No offense to anybody who's a smoker in the chat, but man, I've never smoked a day in my life, and I'm so thankful.
You didn't miss anything.
I'm very thankful.
I danced with it for a little bit.
Yeah,
but I always smoked outside. I always never inside.
I always appreciate that.
Yeah,
when somebody does that, they step out.
Now, weed, I smoked inside for obvious reasons, because
right.
It's
legal here now. You can go outside and smoke.
It's legal back home, but not legal down here yet.
Yeah. It's legal across the country here in Canada. Here's where he talks about, in order to appease the gods, the druid priests held fire rituals.
And then this is where they come up with the idea of
prisoners
Thorn.
Of war, criminals of the insane, animals were burned alive in baskets. The marshal's like, what? By observing the way the druids believed they could see omens of the future. The way he says that, future. 2,000 years later, we've come no further. It's great. Samhain isn't the evil spirit. It isn't goblins and ghosts and witches. That's how he says it too. Witches. It's the unconscious mind. It's such a great thing. We're all afraid of the dark and inside ourselves. It's great. It's such a great line. You don't need Marion to then go, by the way, that's Laurie. That's Meyer's sister. You could just have her talk about something else there.
Or you just not have Loomis leave at all and continues to help the cops.
Well, you could do that too. Or you could just end the scene there. But then you have to ask but then people will say, well, what gets them back to the hospital, right? Because it is the realization that Laurie Strode is Michael's sister that prompts Loomis to go, holy fuck, I know where he's going. He's going to be at the hospital. I get all that. But you can figure out a different way. You can figure out a different way to trigger Loomis to go, Jesus Christ, we got to get back to that hospital. There's many ways you can do that, for sure. It works. I totally understand the motivation behind it. It's the realization that it's Laurie. Oh my God, that's where he's going to go because she's at the hospital. Tonight after they took her to where they take her to the hospital. Do you know where that is? Yes, I know. But you can restructure that scene to have it play out very similarly with a different motivation. You don't necessarily need the sister angle. Maybe Loomis just fucking...
Or they figure out shit's going on at the hospital because the ambulance isn't coming to get anyone.
Maybe there's a distress call that comes through the CB radio. Maybe there's, you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
You could set, that's a good idea. You could set up a scene where they're sending out they're trying to get on the CB radio, on the ambulance there.
Right.
Like, hey, we need help. Shit's hitting the fan.
Hospital.
Michael's here. And
right. And Loomis
they all go to the hospital.
And Loomis is like, he takes out his gun. And he's like, you turn this fucking car around now.
Let's go. Let's get that son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do.
I promise you, it's not Ted Hollister.
Yeah. I mean, you massage it a little bit to make it, fit. But yeah, essentially, that's the idea. Look at him. He's fucking out of it. He's out of it. Jimmy.
Concussion. Definitely concussion.
Oh, for sure. The question is,
if he's not dead, it's definitely a concussion. Yeah, I know.
Does he die? Does he die?
I gotta sleep first. I gotta sleep this off.
Here it comes. He's like,
he passes out like I do on a Saturday night after
I gotta take a shit.
Daniels.
Holy fuck! Stop it! Why does Laurie take so long to fucking lift him up off that thing? Woo! Way to go, Laurie. Way to go. Or way to go, Lance. Jamie's daddy. Oh, God.
I'm pregnant with your daughter.
Listen,
Don't you know?
maybe his penis is out right there.
That's
and,
it.
And
She
she
sits
sat on
on
him for
it.
just that moment.
And that's how
where it
Jamie
happened.
got
That's
pregnant.
where it
Yes,
happened.
exactly.
That's
That's
where it
it.
happened right there. We figured it out. There was a moment right there where she was kind of on his lap.
That is
his dick was out. That's where it happened. That's where it happened, dude. Right there. Right there.
Man.
That's where it happened.
That's where they was it consummated? Jamie
Yep.
Lloyd.
That's it. Right there. It happened right there.
What have I got to lose? Except my job.
Speak! Spit it out, Jamie! Or Lori, what the hell is her
Can't,
leg?
man.
Her leg.
She's got a vajayjay full of Jimmy's.
Okay, oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, here it comes, man. Here it comes.
Go and check all the rooms down there.
Go on there now. Go on, move.
You stay with me and shut up.
Oh, damn.
Whoa.
That you could not get away with today.
Loomis.
Loomis. You stay with me
easy.
and shut up.
Here it comes.
Ooh.
Here it comes.
You could not get away with that today.
Nope. This is so great. This is
I
a
do.
great moment. This is great.
Boom.
Yes. Listen to that. Listen to that theme, baby. Yes. Go. Yes. Look at that right there. Look at
Right
that.
there. Yeah.
Oh!
Again, that's about as close as you're going to get to the original look of the mask.
More. Show it again. There. Right there. Into the light. Out of the light. Into
And
the
his
light.
walk.
Out of the light. His walk is great. His
Yeah.
walk is great.
The best in the whole movie is right here where he's walking towards her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And just the way he was walking into the light, out of the light, a bit of that split light. It was fantastic. It's great. And the POV's getting closer and closer and closer. It's great. Come on, get in here. Get in here and get naked. What? What the hell's going on? It's a nice moment. Dick Warlock walking through the sugar glass, the breakaway glass. And he gets shot. How many times did he get shot here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. And I think one missed because you do see a light bulb
Okay.
flash. So
All right.
4 or 5 shots that hit him.
Wow. Yeah. Well, he just kind of goes. Now, why does Dr. Loomis get so close to Laurie's face here? It's still breathing.
He's that creepy old man, you know.
It's true. Watch when he
He's the
gets really
creepy
close.
he's the creepy old man in the van.
Yeah, go on that radio and get hunt. Some people think he says get help. I think he does say get on the radio and get hunt. Yeah. I've always thought it was help.
Hunt.
I always thought it was help. Look how close he gets.
Jamie Lee's like this, like,
Sure.
okay, that's good. That's good.
I know, I know.
I can smell the booze. I can smell it.
He's like, I'm sorry, I left you.
Donald's drunk again, folks.
Oh no!
You ever see the unedited cut of that? It's actually pretty good.
No.
Yeah. There's an unedited cut of that kill that's actually better.
Okay. Cool. Looks like somebody guide me down these hallways. I'm fucking inebriated. Loomis is just hammered. No, he's not. It's Halloween 5 where he's fucking just ridiculous. In Halloween 1 and 2, he's actually legit. Like he's legit awesome. You know, in 4, he's fucking awesome.
4 is off. 5, he's just shit faced.
5, he's just fucking.
6, I think he's just stoned.
Yeah, 6, he's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's given up his booze. Not just very much retired. Not dead. This is great. And I got to tell you, Darren Sands of the Slaughtered Lamb has said this. I agree with him fully. This, not that there are great firewalks. There are great firewalks in movies, 100%. But this has got to be one of the best firewalks in the history of movies of all time, because he is, and it's Dick Warlock that does it. He is engulfed. I mean, when he's walking down that hallway, he's just engulfed in flames. Like, it's one thing to be on fire, and I'm not saying it's not, less of an issue, but of a risk. I'm just saying that, we see fire walks where there are actors on fire. Freddy was on fire in the original film and all that kind of stuff. But this movie, when he's walking down that hallway, he's a fucking blazing inferno. It is insane how engulfed he is and how long he walks for being that engulfed. It's just, it's got to be, if not the greatest, one of the greatest, most intense, most fiery fire walks of all time. It's insane. It's insane.
How Loomis gonna forget his gun is out of bullets?
Oh yeah, his gun is out of bullets. Maybe Myers doesn't know that, and he figures he can do the old. No, he totally. Oh, ooh.
He just gives Loomis a little poke.
He does.
He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah. Warren Armour says, okay, the fire is on fire. Yeah, exactly, Warren. Exactly.
Yeah.
Michael?
And then here's the 2 luckiest shots ever in cinema history.
I know.
Like, come on. She's going to go bullseye right into the eyeballs, both of them?
Foreshadowing her fucking Sarah Connor days ahead of her.
I guess so.
I love this head tilt, though. It's good. I like that. It's
Although, I don't know. I mean, I have to figure it out, but can you survive 2 eye shots?
Probably not. I mean, they're going to go right into your brain.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, I like the way Dick Warlock sells it, though. I like the way he sells that. He sells it great.
It hits more in this region, which is possible.
I know, but
you know what I mean?
I know. People are you can still kind of see his eyes. Come on. He's blind. He's blind. He just got shot. He got 2 bullets right in his fucking eye region, okay? He's blind.
Yeah.
Well, technically.
He just got facial, did not in a good way.
And all you saw was just like the catch lights a little bit. Like, we don't know, maybe it went up over here. Maybe it went up in here. Or, I don't know. It's just, we're just thinking about this way too hard. He's blind. He can't see. He got shot in the face.
He's got bullets in his eyes.
Yeah, exactly. He would need medical attention. This is great. But I love the way that Warlock sells those 2 shots to the face. Like the way he goes back like this, like he sells it, man. I love it. Warlock's like, he's fucking on fire here. No pun intended, because he's about to be. But just the way he's selling this and he's doing this. I mean, it might be a little cheesy for some, but the way he's selling it, I buy it.
It's good.
Yep. Loomis, I gotta fill this fucking room with gas. Get out.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. Go on, get out.
Get out now.
Get out now. So it is. Go on, get out. Get out now. Here it is.
Michael.
Look, I love Halloween 4 and all, but this really should be the ending.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. This should be
4.
the end.
I love it.
I love it too. I love it too. In terms of it being my next favorite one in the series. Now watch this though. Watch this. It's not just a firewalk, man. It's an inferno walk. That's what I'm calling this. I am coining it right now.
The inferno walk.
The inferno walk. This is an inferno walk. It's not. Look at that! Holy fucking shit! Look at that! Oh my god! Oh my god! That is insane! Holy shit! Oh my god! Dick Warlock, ladies and gentlemen. Holy fuck, man. Holy fuck. It's insane.
That is one long dick.
That is one long gigantic dick right there, ladies and gentlemen. Nah, it's great. Like that I'm telling you, I'm coining it right here. You've heard it here first. It's the Inferno Walk. That's what it is. The Inferno Walk. I'll send everybody an invoice.
There you go.
I like this. 10, maybe more.
So far.
Or so far. Yeah, it's crazy. And I will say, though, although I am not partial to the brother-sister arc, I do think that the David Gordon Green trilogy would be stronger, and Laurie's justification, it would be stronger.
If it was her brother.
If this movie was canon, because then you have, and it would justify why the town is so crazy too, and so fearful and worried, because you have this massacre that also happened at the hospital. So it wasn't just her 3 friends that got killed. There was fucking 10, maybe more, people at the hospital. It was nurses, it was doctors, it was security guards, it was ambulance drivers, paramedics. I mean, it was a massacre. That massacre didn't happen. It doesn't exist. So I do agree with those that feel that maybe it should have. And there it is. Never knowing it was her brother, going off into the fog. I love that. Just trailing off into the fog as we see the lights just disappear.
That's it. Yeah. Like I said, I love 4. 4 is my shit. It's my second favorite, but this really, it properly ends the story.
This is a stronger ending for Michael Myers. For the character of Michael Myers, this is a stronger ending. It's stronger than Michael being shot and falling into a mine shaft, right? And things falling. Yeah. This is stronger. It's very symbolic with the fire, of course, evil fire, devil, he's burning. And that was supposed to be it, folks. That was it. Michael was dead, and had Halloween 3 Season of the Witch been successful, we might never have had another Halloween or another Michael Myers movie again. So
if this franchise came out now, like Halloween and then Halloween 2 was it, and then Season of the Witch came out, I think Season of the Witch would be more successful today, because movie-going audience in the 80s was way different. They weren't thinking the way we're thinking with anthologies and shit like that. You know what I mean? Agreed. It was just get it out, slasher, cut them up, whatever.
Agreed.
That's what the movie-going audience was like in the 80s.
That's
clearly,
right.
Because that's what they gave them.
Well, yeah, and the word anthology and it wasn't. I mean, it's not that it didn't exist at all. I mean, obviously you had movies like Creepshow and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of, I agree with you. I think the word anthology, a shared universe, or even not a shared one, I think is more. It's more in the pop culture now, and I think people would accept it more today than in 1982. But yeah, that was it. And listen, I like Halloween. I think Halloween 4 is a great ending. Like, there's 2 sides, right? If you want the happy ending, even though Laurie doesn't look that happy in the back of the ambulance, but hey, she's just been through hell. But if you want the happier ending, if you want the ambiguous ending, the real true intent ending, you go with Halloween 1. If you want to extend it and have the happy ending, you go with Halloween 2. Michael he's blown up, he's burning, he's on fire, he burns to death. Laurie goes off, she's probably taken to another hospital in the next town, and she lives the rest, and that's the happy ending. And Dr. Loomis sacrificed himself to not only save Laurie, but to save everybody else from future death and mayhem. And that's it. Or if you want to
come full circle, evil never dies.
Exactly.
Halloween 4.
Exactly. If you want sort of a come full circle, it repeating itself, because in part 1, that message is delivered as well with him not being there. But if you want sort of that, it's now coming full circle and starting again, like it's repeating itself, you go with 4. It's a great ending. Seeing that little girl in a clown costume at the top of the stairs, Loomis was literally about to murder a child. That's how fearful he was. That's how much he was willing to. He was about to murder a fucking child, and Meeker stepped in to stop him, and she's just there, and you just hear his screams. Cut to black, roll credits. That's it. Evil wins, right? You know what I mean? Just don't watch Halloween 5, whatever you do.
No.
Do not watch Halloween 5, whatever you do.
Like I said, when I finally sit down with her and watch these, she's watching 1, 2, 4, and then we'll watch Season of the Witch, and that is it.
That is it. That's all you need to do.
I may show her Rob Zombies just out of curiosity, which would she, from her perspective, being a casual, like, I don't give a shit about this stuff like you do.
Right.
What would she like better, Rob Zombie's first Halloween or Carpenter's first Halloween?
Right.
My gut instinct, I've said this to her, I said, I think you're probably going to like Rob Zombie's because it's more modern. That's the only reason why, because she doesn't get sweaty like we do. But her daughter probably would like the original because
Interesting.
she gets
Interesting.
She's into
Is
this, like,
she a horror fan? Like your
daughter? Yeah.
No,
her
no, no.
daughter's-
You're
No, she's only, well, I mean, like back when we were dating as teenagers for a couple of years, I took her to see H2O. I took her to see Scream 3. I took her to see Blair Witch Project. She was the one that talked me off the ledge that I was jumping off that night because I'd smoked too much weed.
Right.
And her sister, because they were both there. And there was a few other horror movies we were reminiscing about, that everything that basically came out in the summer of '98 through early 2000. We basically went to. She's not into it like we are. She'll watch it with me and enjoy it from that perspective. It's her daughter that's into it. Like she loves this shit. Like
I think that's really cool, because that gives you something to bond with her daughter over.
Yeah.
Like that, being that, father, stepfather, figure in her life.
Let's just say older, cool person. How about that?
I'm just saying in terms of that figure, right? Like that sort of authority type figure. It's a good thing to give that, it's good, especially for young girls, man. It's always good for young girls to have positive male role models in their life.
Dave giving Tony an anxiety attack mentioning the dad word.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I did get all the super chats throughout the stream, which is good. That means there's none that are lingering. Which is good. That's good. That's really good. Let me just, before we sign off here, let me just take a couple of non-super chat ones. John Musgrave says, the only thing that links Michael and Laurie for any sequel is the Sybil-ship. No Sybil-ship, it doesn't work. Just look at kills and ends. They go to crazy extents to Michael, Laurie for a finale. Well, I agree with some of what you're saying there. I've often said that the character of Michael Myers has a shelf life. I have a whole video on my channel from like 4 years ago where I talk about it. The original intent of the character, it has a shelf life. There are only so many times you can make a movie about a killer randomly killing people until it just gets so thin and boring and you're just doing the same movie over and over again. That I agree with. So I agree with you that in order to keep it going, to have longevity in terms of the series and a bunch of sequels, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, to all that, it does bode well for a slasher villain to have some sort of motive or some sort of connection to something, either that is, a family connection or a final girl that ended up surviving and went away, but then came back, or, something like that. I tend to agree with that. But with Halloween 2, as Tony and I have pointed out, it was the first sequel. You didn't need to introduce that. You did not need, because it was picking up the same night, literally where the first one left off, you can just make those adjustments as we talked about and have the movie play out, and it would play out the exact same way. And you don't need to justify why Michael is going to the hospital. It's clear. He's, you leave it up to the audience that, well, obviously he's trying to track down this girl. And then Laurie even says, but why me? Why me? That's the philosophical question that doesn't need to be answered. Now, it is answered in the movie, but you don't need to answer that. You want to leave that to the audience, leave it open to interpretation. But I agree with you. Well, if we're going to continue it in 4 and 5 and 6, it does help to have that connection because it grounds it for the audience. It gives justification for things that are happening. But yeah, the original intent of the character has a shelf life. It has a shelf life. Like, they couldn't continue to do these movies and keep it going on. It's just why I'm kind of glad they ended it with ends where they did. I didn't like the ending, but it's not the way I would have ended it, but
that's why I'm super excited. They're going down the road they're going with Friday the 13th and doing this prequel series backstory on Pamela Voorhees, because it's something new. It's something we've never seen before.
Agreed.
Look, I get Jason, and we'll talk about that when you get back from doing your film. But like you said, there's a shelf life with these characters because there's only so much you can do without becoming repetitive. And we're so far past repetitive that, in order to do something new and fresh, you got to breathe some new life into the franchise, whether it's anthology films with Halloween and doing a sequel to Season of the Witch, or not even doing a sequel to Season of the Witch and just doing another anthology film.
Right.
And leaving Season of the Witch as a standalone. And now doing this thing with
I agree with you. Look,
Friday
I mean,
13th.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll do a show on it. But like we said, or like I said before we went live, yeah, I'm actually excited about this Crystal Lake prequel trilogy, prequel series. Don't know if it's going to be good. It's got A24 involved. It's got Brian Fuller involved. It's got a good team. Doesn't mean it's going to be good, but certainly there's potential there. But I like it because I understand that Jason's the franchise and he's the face, and I get all that. But what else do you do? One of the things I hear from Friday the 13th fans, it's one of the things that I actually quite like about what Vincent DeSanti has done with the Never Hike Alone series, because it's still Friday the 13th. The DNA is still there, but he's elevated it a little bit to make it a little more mature, not as campy. It's a continuation from the original series. But having said that, one of the things I hear from Friday fans all the time is, how hard is it to make a Friday movie? It's just Jason killing camp counselors. And I'm like, yeah, and that's the problem. Because that's
the big problem.
That's the problem, because there's no look, if you want just another Friday movie like that, okay. But there's no longevity in that anymore. This isn't 1980, where you can just make those, and like 10 of them, and them, like, it's just, it's not like it was. So there's gotta be, we have to evolve this somehow, or you're going to get another Friday movie and it's going to be one and done like the 09 film. And then you're going to be like, oh, fuck, it's like, what do you do? Right. So this series, I'm like, oh, I get that. Because as we said, there's a lot of unexplored potential with Pamela that might help you, that may or may not, depending on how they do it, help you appreciate that first Friday movie, and her story. So I'm excited to talk about it when I get back, and I'm excited, man. I mean, and listen, obviously they didn't take our idea, but you and I have talked about this exact thing years ago.
This exact, not even years ago, within the last year, I think we did a what if on this.
We have, but I mean, one of our very first episodes of Two Dudes was about Friday the 13th and talking about going back and doing, I don't know if we were necessarily talking about it in a series format. We might have mentioned it, but we were talking about going back and starting with Pamela, and doing all that, and I'm excited. I'm excited. And again, their hands may be tied as well, because Victor Miller owns the rights to Pamela Voorhees and young Jason. He does not own the rights to adult Jason and the hockey mask. So that's Sean Cunningham. So unless Sean Cunningham and Victor decide to band together, or there's some loophole in the legalities that I don't know about, he can't do it even if he wanted to. So I think that's why they're doing this. And I think they're going to make it, I think people are going to be surprised. I think Friday fans are going to be like, no, fuck that bullshit. And then they're going to watch it and go, yeah, okay, that was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Right?
I think so.
I'm going to spend the next year fighting with people over this. And then we're all going to watch it and be like, damn, that was really fucking good.
Yeah, I think so too. So, and who knows, maybe we'll have more information about it by the time we do our show on it. You know what I mean? And we'll have more to sort of dissect and talk about. But anyway, we got to call it a night, folks. It has been 3.5 hours. Whoops, the wrong thing.
I'm offended. I'm offended.
Trick or treat, motherfucker!
Hit the wrong, I know, I hit the wrong thing. That's going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Halloween 2022 from me and Tony. I hope you enjoyed that watch along of the original Halloween and the original Halloween 2. My moderators, thank you. Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, Chris Baber, Cody Snyder, Andrew Stevens. You guys are amazing. Thank you to the Super Chat questions that came in today. And thank you to, of course, everybody who tuned in to watch us live and watched along with us. I hope you had a wonderful Halloween. It's over. The Halloween season is over, but that doesn't mean...
No, it's not.
Well, that's
Not
true.
for me, it's not.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But it doesn't mean that this, the content on this channel and the exciting stuff on this channel is not, of course. Stick around. And I'm going to say something that I hardly ever say. Subscribe if you haven't, you fucking bastards. I never say that. But anyway, yeah, you guys are
you never
amazing.
say that.
I never say that. No, I never do. I've only ever asked to subscribe once, and it was on a stream over a year ago, I think it was, because it was like a 25,000 subscriber celebration stream or something, and I did it. And I did it here. But hey, it's a special occasion. You're amazing. Tony, any last things you want to say?
No, this was fun. This was cool doing a double whammy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when you're getting back. We got a couple of what if episodes ideas that we've discussed that are going to be good. Obviously, I'm looking forward to watching Terrifier 2. That's going to be fucking.
Dude.
That's going to be nuts.
We're gonna do it live.
That's going to be as a first time watch. That's going to be nuts.
It might be the wildest watch along in Two Dudes and Bullshit history.
I concur. I concur with that. So
It's gonna be wild.
The horror is not stopping, even though spooky season is. No, it's never over for me.
No.
It's all year round. It's all
Of
year
course.
round.
I agree.
Wow.
Folks, you're amazing. By the way, there will not be a Two Dudes and Some Bullshit next week or the week after that. Next Sunday, or this Sunday, I should say, I am flying to Phoenix, Arizona to shoot Dylan's new nightmare. That's right, it's finally happening. I had a table read last night with the cast, and it was awesome. So no two Dudes and Some Bullshit for the next couple of weeks. But don't worry, we will be back. We will be back in November. That's right. All right, folks, have a great rest of your Halloween. Happy Halloween. Stay safe out there. You're all amazing. You know that. And Tony and I will talk to you soon. All righty. Cheers. Happy Halloween.